What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Book Report. Here to talk about Chapter 5 of The Mandalorian. Oh, I'm sorry, I mean the Book of Boba Fett. Super fun episode. Just like The Mandalorian came in to substitute for Boba Fett this week, we have a couple substitute teachers we're bringing on with us. We have the esteemed Dr. EckhartsLadder, and
Hello.
we have this bum that we pulled in off the street randomly, Mark. From the Templin Institute.
It was a gutter, not a street. I just want to clarify.
What a lovely introduction either way. Thank you so much.
Hey, this is just returning the favor for every time you introduce me to your streams.
I mean, I'm not really a substitute like you imply. Like, who else would be here if not me?
I mean, we could just have Eckart's-Ladder here. And
I think that would be better, yeah.
We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that plays.
I don't think Mark's ready to do the polite chuckles for like jokes like you guys started off with. So we might need to get him out of here.
I'm not feeling that energy from him.
Mark, give us your best polite chuckle.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Work.
Yeah,
all right, he's
better than
playing
I
game.
expected.
So, Mark, since we're giving you a hard time, let me throw it to you first. How have you been liking the Book of Boba Fett so far as a series?
I mean, I can go into it, but the short answer is it's uneven. I like parts in every episode, but as a whole, it's not grabbing me the way Mando did.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Justin?
I really like it, actually, but for me, I guess I'm happy we're getting a story that's been a bit more self-contained, a bit smaller up to this point anyway. I'm a big fan of like Tatooine. I've been waiting for like the kind of show that shows more of like what the average person's going through. And obviously Boba Fett's not an average person, but running a criminal empire is smaller scale than, fighting a vital rebellion against the Empire or whatever. And I really like seeing the streets of Tatooine. Like, I'm a huge Tatooine fan, so I'm like one of the only people who's not sick of the planet already.
Yeah, I'm kind of the opposite normally, but I've really been enjoying what they've been doing in this series. So it hasn't bugged me at all.
Like, more Max Rebo is enough to get me through an episode.
Oh, hell yeah. That's when I don't have anything new to put here for the episode, I just have my Max Rebo shrine because we're having a Max Rebo renaissance right now.
Oh, yeah.
We broke our streak today. We didn't get to see him.
I think we missed him in episode 2, or I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I
He's
thought he
still
was
here in
first
our
scene.
hearts.
What's that?
Wasn't Max in the first scene hanging from those hooks in that butcher shop?
Okay, that's not funny. Don't joke about that.
Get
I
out.
can't believe we're going to see how many times we do this tonight.
So we've had more Max outside of Return of the Jedi than in, right? By this point?
Yeah, probably. Screen time
I think
wise.
so.
Mhm. Yeah.
Did he get a name drop in the movie? I don't think he did.
No. He's just banging away with his feet.
Well, just real quick, because our buddies, the Blunder Dome, are in the stream, just says hair game is super on point. Thanks, guys. That's real nice of you. And Olivia Pirano agrees, but just for Molly.
Thank you.
Thanks, Olivia.
Alex and I have slight variations of the same haircut, which is the haircut every man has.
Alex just has to wet like the front of his hair and then like slick it in a direction, and then it just stays that way.
Yeah, I'm a great clips, low maintenance kind of guy. That's all I want.
I mean, I regret you can't see it, but my hair actually looks identical to Molly's right now.
I believe that. Let's get into this episode real quick. And Mark, I want to throw it to you first because I'm interested in what you have to say, because I think you texted me this morning and said you were annoyed, which I loved this episode, but I understand people who I think I know what your criticism is going to be, but I want to hear it.
Yeah, so I don't know. I've watched a lot of Star Wars. I've been disappointed sometimes. I don't think I've ever been like angry when the credits started, but this was the exception. Like, my main problem with Book of Boba Fett is the narrative seems like sluggish, or like it starts and stops. It doesn't really head in any single direction. And this episode, like, it was just a total complete diversion from this main story. Like, I don't know. You know how in like commentaries and whatnot, you hear these filmmakers talk about, well, we trim anything that doesn't contribute to the story. You could shave off this entire episode and you wouldn't lose anything from Boba Fett's journey. Like, they mention, oh, the Pikes are running amok. We knew that. And then Fennec Shand shows up and asks for help. We knew that. This episode added nothing. And I'm just super annoyed that the best episode of the Book of Boba Fett was an episode of The Mandalorian. Like, it's like the filmmakers lost interest in their own story.
That's like the exact word for word criticism I've heard thrown around the most. Like a lot of people really like this episode, but they're like, it's weird that the best episode of the Book of Boba Fett doesn't have Boba Fett in it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I ripped all that off Twitter. Yeah, I'm just copying them.
I want to talk about that in a second, but Justin, what did you think of this chapter?
Yeah, so I think that's more just the reality of like this kind of new narrative universe they're trying to create, where they are running all these shows either concurrently or right after each other. I think we are going to see more like it's just in the same way that the Mandalorian or this episode won't make sense if you haven't seen the Mandalorian. I just think that they're all kind of going to be connected like this, and we're gonna have to expect some of that moving forward. Not to say that like I agree that I'm kind of wondering how they're going to work out Boba Fett's storyline now for the season, because there are only 2 episodes left. I heard some people say actually too, I don't know if this is true or not, but that there were originally reports that this season would have only 6 episodes and that this one may have just even been substituted in, which, yeah, I would personally believe. But whether it was meant for, episode 1 of The Mandalorian or for something else, I do disagree that this is the best episode, though. I think that episode 2 was better.
Actually, yeah, I'm being hyperbolic there. I did prefer episode 2.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I think that's kind of the MCU style that they're going for. We're going to see this, like, for better or for worse. And I'm not necessarily a big fan of how the MCU operates and how it's kind of informed seemingly all other type of like fan media, like Star Wars. But I just think that's kind of what we're going to have to expect. And I think we got maybe a little hint at that with the Ahsoka episode of season 2 of the Mando, and arguably others as well.
Yeah, I think I agree that episode 2 is my favorite as well for the Book of Boba Fett, but I just had so much fun watching this one that I guess I'm willing to overlook a lot and forgive it or whatever. But Molly and I, we both at some point, I think halfway through the runtime, Molly was like, "Is Boba Fett going to be in this?" And I was like, "I don't think he is." And even at the end, I was like, "Oh, well, here's Finnick, so Boba Fett's coming in." Nope, it's just Finnick. But the way I've been looking at this is that, especially because they've labeled it as a book, I'm like, this is an interlude. Like this chapter is an interlude, which, like, Cobb Vanth was introduced in interludes for the Aftermath trilogy, and the Ahsoka novel has interludes with Obi-Wan, where it's like, we're gonna shift our focus a little bit, and this doesn't deal with the plot itself, but it's still thematically relevant. And I just saw so much of what Din is going through is similar to what Boba Fett is going through, and that Din needs to see Boba Fett as kind of an example for his story, which, yeah, I guess it's a bit of a distraction from Boba Fett's story and leading into Mando, but the whole Book of Boba Fett feels like an interlude for the Mandalorian anyway.
I think you're right about that second part. I don't necessarily agree that this is an interlude, but I really like what you're saying about how they're kind of dealing with the same thing. A lot of people, I think, kind of miss the point of that, where they're claiming that this episode threw away all of the Mandalorian's character development. And I don't really think that's the case. He returned to his sect because that was what was comfortable with him. And he's there for like 10 minutes before he figures out like it's not going to work. Because he doesn't regret taking his helmet off. Like, he took it off so he could see his adopted son, basically. So he's kind of like, people are calling him, the divorced dad. And, that is kind of what he is. He's like, he's lost his purpose. He doesn't know what to do. So, yeah.
He's going through a midlife crisis. He built a hot rod.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was living out of it, probably.
Immediately wants to go pick his son up from school. It's not even lunchtime yet.
I know. How long has it been? It does feel like, didn't you just drop him off with Luke? It's been 2 days, and he's like, I have to see him.
Yeah.
Can I touch on 2 things you mentioned? Justin, you compared this to the MCU. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. But where I differ is, like, I haven't seen all the MCU movies. Like, I don't think I saw the second Ant-Man or whatever. But when you get to the Avengers, it doesn't matter because they do a good enough job of bringing it up to speed, and the plot is never really that connected.
Mhm.
But with this, I was trying to think of the perspective of someone who didn't watch The Mandalorian, but decided to watch Boba Fett. Would they get anything out of this episode? Like they rush through it, like, oh, I got the spear from a Jedi. Oh, they breeze through it, but the plot builds solely on that stuff. That if you haven't seen it, I'm wondering, do you get anything out of it?
I don't know how many of those people exist, but
There are dozens of us.
yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I think you probably know enough to get I think you could probably understand the basics, but yeah, you're right. You wouldn't have any idea who Grogu is. Yeah, I guess not. The question, I just think the Mandalorian is so popular. It's like if you brought Spider-Man into the first Hulk movie, it's like people are probably going to know who that is.
But isn't it kind of weird to have a show where it's not designed to stand on its own?
I don't think because there's crossovers that it's not designed to stand on its own necessarily.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
fair.
I do think it would be an odd episode for people who just watch the Book of Boba Fett, but I think at the end of the season they're going to get a complete story. This also kind of reminds me of if you've been watching Mythic Quest on Apple Plus TV, there are 1 or 2 episodes in both seasons that just tell completely unrelated stories. It's basically the same thing. Where the first time I saw one of those episodes, I was like, what are they doing? But also, they're the best episodes of that show.
I haven't seen Mythic Quest, but I kind of agree with you. Like one of the best episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender is Zuko alone, right? Where you split off from Team Avatar, you're following the bad guy all of a sudden.
Right.
And I don't want to turn this into a debate, even though I'm winning. But what I think made those episodes work is you're seeing a perspective that you don't normally see. Like you don't normally see an entire episode from Zuko's point of view or whatever the character is. But in this one, it's just another show. Like I kind of buy Justin's theory that this was just an extra episode they threw in because I forget where I'm going with this, but that's what I'm saying.
It makes me think of the Coach Beard episode from Ted Lasso,
Yeah,
where we
yeah.
see
Another
him
great
just
one.
go off like into the night and do his own thing, and that turned out to be a pretty great episode. But it was just very disjointed feeling.
And that's
But-
kind of the same, like you're reminding me of the same thing where Ted Lasso this season had 12 episodes instead of 10, but 2 of them were kind of weird. The Coach Beard episode
Mhm.
and the Christmas one that didn't do anything for like the main plot. So yeah, it's making a lot of sense. And I remember hearing the 6 episode rumors as well. So
Yeah,
it
I'll
could
be-
just be like, yeah, tossing the Mando fans a bone.
I'll be curious to see how this episode plays into the next episode, and then once the whole season is over with, if it feels like it fits any better. Like I'm kind of like holding back part of my judgment until we see the next episode and how Din plays into Boba Fett's story. But yeah, this felt like just like a random extra episode that kind of got added in, which I'm totally fine with. But I agree. I think I still like episode 2 the best for Boba Fett's story. This episode was great, had a bunch of cool stuff in it, got me really hyped for The Mandalorian. So I think it did what they wanted it to do. It's like, oh yay, glad you're enjoying Boba Fett, but remember these guys, they're still coming.
That is what happens when you do have like this sort of like incestuous producer teams where it's like all the same people making everything. So, and I actually feel like people like, I think maybe if I were to guess, maybe they foresaw there would be some controversy or some fan, like everyone's complaining that Book of Boba Fett is boring. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I think the show has got some issues for sure. But I don't know whether Star Wars fans are ready for like a show that doesn't have Luke Skywalker coming in to destroy Dark Troopers, or that doesn't have Kira. Like everyone wants Kira to be for example, to be the main baddie. And that would have been cool too. But like sometimes I think, and the real test for this is going to be Kenobi, where it's going to be a smaller show. They're probably not going to be able to throw in every character who ever appeared in Star Wars Rebels or the Clone Wars. And I think maybe they expected some of that backlash for the Book of Boba Fett, where it is a smaller story so far. It is more contained. Most of it so far has been about Boba Fett's personal growth. So maybe they threw this episode in to kind of say, hey, we're still the part of this larger universe. Yeah, that would maybe be my guess.
We were talking earlier, and I wonder if this is going to be kind of a passing of the torch in a sense, where I see Din as kind of replacing Boba Fett, or the archetype that Boba Fett was in Legends, like the bounty hunter that becomes Mandalore and rises to heights. It seems like Din has taken over that role. And so it kind of seems like I don't know if Book of Boba Fett's going to be multiple seasons. I have guessed that it will be, but I wonder if this is all just kind of like a swan song for Boba Fett, and like we're going to pass everything that he was onto Din.
Yeah, this feels kind of like the story that Jon Favreau originally wanted to tell for a character like Boba Fett, but he couldn't, so he's doing it with Din. But it's great because now we have this amazing continuation of Boba Fett's story that gets really deep. And yeah, I kind of agree that some Star Wars fans might not be ready for stuff like this that's a little bit slower and not as like action packed with super familiar characters, but you got to start somewhere. Just throw them into the deep end with all the themes and stuff.
I mean, I agree with Mark saying that the series feels a little uneven. I mean, the first like 4 weeks, fans were going back and forth. We're like, didn't like episode 1. Episode 2 was great. Episode 3 was garbage. Like that, I was getting whiplash on Twitter trying to keep up with people's reactions.
Well, I think sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I think the larger issue is like, I mean, you were talking about how this episode reflects the themes of Boba Fett is reflected in these themes. But I still don't really get Boba's story yet. So it's hard for me to see if that's true or not. Like, episode 1, I'm trying to figure out like what is he trying to achieve? And the first episode is, okay, the mayor is an issue. Second episode, mayor's out, Hutts are in. Okay, now we're dealing with the Hutts. That's going to be the story. Episode 3, Hutts are out. Now it's the Pikes. And now we're on demand.
I think that's more plot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I guess. But like at some point, like something has to happen and just keep going as opposed to these like stops and starts.
But I mean, over half the show has been flashbacks by now.
Yeah,
right?
Which is also weird. I mean, the flashbacks are the best part on it. Like the Tusken Raider stuff is great, but then they get rid of that too. So I don't know. I just don't think Boba's arc or themes or whatever are as developed as I would have wanted.
They haven't been super clear on his intentions so far in the show, but I think it's going to be just pretty basic. Where like he came out of the Sarlacc pit, the Empire's gone, he doesn't have a job anymore, and he doesn't want to be a bounty hunter anymore. So now he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. So he thinks, yeah, crime lord. Let's take over Jabba's palace because that's familiar and that's something that I think I know how to do, which he doesn't know how to do. And I think through this series, he's going to realize that like maybe this isn't for me.
Yeah, I feel like I know what he thematically is going through, like the changes he's going through personally. But I agree that his intentions, like his initial motivations, beyond just not wanting to work for idiots anymore. I don't know why he wanted to take over Jabba's palace specifically. He had that line about like, I'm gonna kill Bib Fortuna because he betrayed me, and everyone was like, what? I don't remember that. So the present day stuff has had some confusion in it, but
that memory of him killing Bib lives rent free in his mind. He dreams about
that. It's made me laugh every time we've watched that episode, where it's just like a quick little like Boba. But yeah, like I've been enjoying a lot of the smaller scenes. I agree that I don't like this as much as The Mandalorian, but I've still found plenty of stuff that keeps me engaged and excited, especially in this last episode.
Yeah, we got a history lesson. The Mandalorian history lesson.
And that was awesome. I should specify, if this episode was part of the Mandalorian or episode 23 of season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett, I would be all in. Like, this was awesome TV. It's just within the context of the show that I didn't love it. But yeah, the what was it, the killing of Mandalore probably has a better name than that. The burn, the scorch, what do they call it?
Purge.
The Night of a
Purge.
Thousand Tears, the Purge, yeah.
The Night of a Thousand Tears. How could I not know that? But yeah, damn, it looked cool.
Mhm.
Terminator-esque for sure.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, as soon as we saw the KX droids, Alice goes, Terminators.
Yeah. All right.
But it was
that,
so
that
cool
feels like a
seeing
good
the bombers come in, and yeah, that scene was amazing.
Yeah, that was
this feels
great.
like a good segue into our favorite moments of the episode, so we can get ready to share drawings. Justin, why don't we start with you?
Good. I was picking mine up just in preparation.
I see that.
So I loved the ring. I thought it was amazing.
I
feel like they
thought you might.
They saved a lot of budget just for that, even though the show has been insanely high production quality. So let me just, okay, here we go. So I drew a picture of Din Djarin and Master Chief. Master Chief says, "I've never felt a woman's touch," and Din Djarin says, "Same, lol." And it was kind of from the scene when he's walking down the street with the ring in the background, and I was just kind of getting caught up in the details. I thought it was beautiful. And I was just imagining, what if Master Chief was there? They're very similar in the same ways, or very, very similar in many ways. They don't like taking their helmets off. They're probably pretty stinky. They both have unconventional friends. Master Chief's got Cortana. Din Djarin has Grogu. So yeah,
Oh.
and they both have, as I focused here, they both have special swords as well. So
That's true.
yeah.
I love imagining you on the couch watching the show. It's been like, I wonder if Master Chief was there. That'd be so cool.
Who would win in a fight? No, Master Chief. For sure.
I did.
my
The
crayons.
ring was sick. The ring looked great.
Yeah, it was really good.
And there was a
Very,
shot. There was a shot that they pulled off where he goes into an elevator. It's all like one continuous take. It follows him
Yeah.
into an elevator and then turns back around, and he's obviously in a different part. And I'm just wondering how they did that. the
Yeah, it's
volume.
right after he does he goes visits the whoever gave him the bounty. That shot was really impressive. I noticed that too.
Mhm.
I posted on Twitter. It reminded me a lot of Nar Shaddaa from the Dark Forces game, partially because it's just like starry and black outside, but it's just like very 70s looking Star Wars architecture on kind of an unconventional in an unconventional way. So I thought that was really cool.
Mhm.
Do you have any? I was wondering, like, what's the backstory of that ring? Do you got any theories?
No, I
Nope.
mean, I don't think it's pretty small,
Okay, good talk.
obviously, like compared to. I noticed it reminded me a lot of Ringworld, like the classic like Larry Niven books, where it's got like, I noticed it's got those shadows moving across it, and we get a look at what looks like a mirror. So it looks like it's got a mirror, like a bunch of mirrors putting light over it, but not in like any sort of reasonable time period. It's like moving across every hour. It's crazy.
Did you listen to the? I know you sometimes listen to the audio descriptions. Did you do that?
No, I didn't for this one.
I
didn't
did
think
that
to.
just to see if they named it, and they don't.
It's called,
But it did say that like it's not a complete ring, and the point of that is so
Gotcha.
that as it rotates, like the nearby sun.
so that's how. So it's this, right? I think the ring is called Glavis because in the credits it says Alien on Glavis or like whatever
Oh,
the
cool.
alien name is. Yeah. So okay, so it's like a horseshoe or something.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
not a
the
full ring.
I thought the ring kind of reminded me of the like Vegas Strip.
Mm.
It's or like just like almost like
Searchlights or
the
something.
yeah. It also made me think of the Ring of Kafrine from Rogue One, but like
Mhm.
super nice. Like there's casinos and stuff, but there's still a bunch of shady stuff going on.
Mhm.
Something like that.
I thought that there was like a whole. I thought it was cool that there's like a whole underside where it's like the criminals and stuff.
And you can just
Yeah.
fall into space there.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
When he fell off fighting with the armorer, I was like, oh, well,
That's
he's
it.
just dead. Oh, yeah, he's got a jetpack. He's fine.
They should have done that. They should have killed him off that way, where he just falls off and that's it during training. And then the
For a
armorer's like,
second-
"Ah, damn."
For a second, I thought I didn't realize he had a jetpack, and I thought that there was some kind of gravitational thing where if you fell, it would just push you right back up.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Oh, cool, smart." But now they all have
Nope.
jetpacks.
Mark, you want me to pull your image up here?
Yeah, sure.
All right, here's Mark's drawing. I haven't looked at it super closely. I'm I'm trying to figure out who's who.
Is that
Okay,
Pelly back there?
I clearly see Din. Yeah, Pelly with the curly
Pelly
hair.
looks like a monster.
That's just the concept art, right? The concept art that was on screen when
Yeah.
Tamara Morrison came up in the
Yeah,
credits.
did you just trace this, Mark? Be honest.
I didn't.
This is the
your
concept
drawings,
art,
by
isn't
the
it?
way.
Isn't this the original concept art here? Didn't he just copy that?
This is just a screenshot, yeah, from the show.
It's too good.
Is that a pit droid with like a phone cable in the middle?
No, I don't know what type of cable it was, but they were dragging like a tube of some kind.
It looks like a phone cord.
Well,
Like
I don't
he's
know.
trying to bring the landline
yeah.
to Pelly.
Okay, is this the art criticism show now?
It's not. Explain your art though.
Explain it. I was told to like draw my favorite moment of the episode. And I don't know if it's my favorite moment, but I remember just when this came up on screen, I yelled out, "Oh, I must have missed that part!" And then I realized I was alone and no one heard it, and I felt kind of dumb.
Oh, okay. So
Your
your favorite
roommates
part
probably
was
heard it.
Nah,
Yeah.
they're not here.
Okay. I don't blame him. Jesus.
So you just wanted to draw like wait, were you literally drawing concept art?
Yeah, it's from the credits.
Okay.
You know where it says starring what's his face?
Yeah,
and-
yeah. But was this one of the concept art pieces?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like the exact moment where it says starring Tamara Morrison.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know in
Yeah.
the credits?
Who's the character up front?
That's you can't tell?
Well, I want you to tell me.
It looks like a Pokemon.
Who do you think it is?
Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Fennec Shand, the robot assassin.
Okay. Is she wearing Jinko jeans?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's
No,
with her
it's like-
legs?
She's like
Okay.
Kevin Smith when he used to wear those really long jorts.
Yeah.
I did the outline first, which I realized was a mistake because the outline was broken up by like her gear and like creases in her pants, so it kind of looks like shards. You didn't go this much into Eckhart's. His was bad.
Hey, now.
It was
They're all
very straightforward. I understood it right away.
Okay.
That's it. I saw Din, I saw Master Chief, I saw them on a ring.
Can you bring
I
up
got it.
Disney Plus on stream? Go to the credits to that frame, and it'll make perfect sense. It's like
I'm looking at it now, yeah. I mean, there are some issues, but like, for
There are
one,
some issues.
I thought they were in like a hangar or something, but they were just in like the middle of her quad there. There's 3 pit droids, and I think you only had 2.
well, okay.
Hold
They're
on.
bringing like a fuel. If you go to Star Wars leaks, they always post the concept art / Star Wars leaks.
I'm about to upload it here so we can all compare
I just-
exactly what.
No one else went through this, is what I'm saying. And I doubt you're going to do this for yours. I doubt you're going to do it for Molly's. I think this is just a purely let's
Well,
make
yeah,
fun
that's
of Mark.
because
He's bad at drawing.
with mine, I Googled the references. I was like, Master Chief cod piece, and I looked at
Look
that
how
for like 10
perfect that
minutes.
is. You can totally tell.
Okay.
That's so perfect.
Well, we try to explain our drawing, so you didn't really
Why was
explain
this
it.
your favorite part?
I mean, I said it wasn't necessarily my favorite. It's just like the one I remember because I yelled at the TV.
Irony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But didn't
starring
this
Tamara
exact scene
Morrison.
happen?
Yeah, but it's because it's got the starring Tamara Morrison, and he wasn't in the episode.
Yeah. That's the joke,
Oh,
Alex.
okay.
Jesus,
I missed it. Hmm.
You feeding this guy
Mr.
enough, Molly?
Give him a break, Alex. Jeez.
I said, please, someone explain Star Wars to me. Is that the name of your channel now?
I just need Mark to explain comedy to me.
Yeah, you do.
Molly, what did you draw?
So mine is more. It's kind of like concept art. It's what I imagined. Din thinking when he was asking the armorer to make something for Grogu, and that's his little chainmail shirt that I assume she made, and I assume that's what chainmail looks like. I don't know. It looks like bubbles, like bubble wrap. But Mando he's really excited to give it to Grogu.
It's a great Mando drawing.
Oh, thanks. I looked up a picture of him and didn't trace it, but
There's some
followed it
issues.
closely.
I'm seeing a lot of flaws that I'm going to now pick apart because that's what we do.
Go
real
ahead,
quick
Mark.
though,
Yeah,
I
try.
want to show off my prototype of Grogu and his chainmail.
Is it like a bracelet?
Yeah.
I kind of thought it was like a chain, like he was gonna make him like a necklace.
It wouldn't do much
A
for armor,
Beskar
but it would be
necklace?
nice.
No, wouldn't.
Is it
Would.
like a
He could
skull
just-
cap?
He would tell all his Jedi friends, like, look at this necklace. Isn't it nice?
Great picture, Molly.
Yeah, it was good.
Thanks.
No questions, no notes.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
All right, here you go, Mark. You can rip mine apart. I reacted so strongly to this. I had a bigger reaction to this than I did to Luke Skywalker appearing in The Mandalorian. I
You
screamed.
really did.
I screamed when the BD droid appeared. I loved it.
Which you can see on the Star Wars Explained Patreon, right?
That's true.
Exactly. Yes.
Thanks for the sizzle.
Check out our reactions on Patreon.
Lots of close-up thumbnails of Alex just freaking out when BD shows up.
That's it. Oh, I had
his shirt open, tears in his eyes.
It was this face when it appeared, and then just like screaming, and I was distraught when the Womp Rat immediately took it. Immediately take it away from me.
Yeah, I've never seen you had such a strong reaction to literally anything.
To anything ever.
It's like getting married. It's like success on YouTube. Like BD droid.
BD
Live
droid is
action
up here.
BD1.
That was,
Mark,
that was
any thoughts?
crazy well done.
Can you put it up again? I just want to see it one more
Yeah,
time.
sure.
Conceptually,
It's weird he just dropped out.
It's so weird how that
That's kind
happens.
of spooky, yeah.
wait, can they not hear me when I'm not on screen?
No.
I've been talking sometimes during that though.
Yeah, that's why it's funny.
Oh my god. Your art's bad and you should feel bad is what I was trying to say, but I was more eloquent. I had clever things
That's
I was
okay.
saying.
I believe you, Mark, and I don't disagree with you either.
I noticed he has one very long leg. Which is that like the kid from like the Christmas Carol? Like, I don't know what his issue was, but
Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim, yeah, it's kind of similar issue going on there, I think. So
Yeah, I don't know. It got away from me. I made him too tall. It looks like someone sat on him.
I think you were trying to do some depth perception or something
Yeah, I was
like
trying
that.
to do perspective.
Oh, he was
Somehow-
trying to do a lot
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah, this leg looks smaller than the back leg.
He looks like he's wearing flip flops.
Is that an electrical socket on the front?
Yeah,
Like, is that
it
where you
looks
plug
like
it
you
in?
can plug him in.
it's convenient.
That's how you charge it.
Yeah, it's an analog universe, so no
Well,
electric.
before we move on to chat questions, do you guys have anything else you wanted to bring up?
No, I like that the last 20 minutes of the episode was just them fucking around in a garage. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but yeah, that was sorry, chat. That was fun and lots of cute droids and stuff. There was a Treadwell droid, my favorite. Yeah, good stuff.
I
Seeing
enjoyed
the
that
pit
part.
droid hide behind the treadwell was excellent.
Yeah, but I did think it was too long. Like, I know we complained last episode that the scene of her stomach getting modded felt a little bit long. I think the working on the ship felt a little long, and it was like 10 minutes long, and Pelly's just like naming off a bunch of random parts that we don't know what they do. And,
Yeah.
okay.
They need to be singing while they were doing it, like for it to go that long. Like it needs to be Grease style.
I just kept thinking, like, we could be seeing Boba Fett right now. Like, the ship has gotten more development than Boba.
It's a pretty
Well,
cool
the ship
though.
is a metaphor for Din and Boba Fett in a way, and the change that they're going through, Mark.
Okay, but how is he going to fit all his gear in there? He's a bounty hunter. His job is to take people in some sort of, I don't know, capsule or something and deliver them to someone else. Where is he going to put them on the starfighter?
He's
It's like
gonna
the
get a
worst
little
thing.
Space
Maybe that's not
U-Haul.
going to be his job for much longer. Maybe he should let that
He doesn't
job
know
go.
that. Or does he?
So he might be thinking it.
It's just a poor mode of transport is my main complaint.
Oh, I agree. And that's why I think that him saying like, no, I want a Razor Crest. I need a Razor Crest. A Razor Crest would be better. Like that's him saying I should be a bounty hunter, but
then
he
he
still
shouldn't have
goes
agreed
along
to
with
it.
all.
Like if they were like, hey, Mark,
Yeah, well then why did he? Because
your
maybe
tow
deep
truck
down
broke,
he
but we
wants
got
to
you this
leave
Corvette.
that behind.
What if him and Boba Fett switch ships? They trade these.
I kind of think that's going to happen.
Alex, you were talking about that on our walk earlier, that could happen.
Well,
Although
that was
I agree that you can't fit anything in that ship. You need like a little
if
U-Haul
he's
thing
going to stay a
attach
bounty
it.
hunter, then yeah, he needs a different ship. And so he could trade it for the slave one or something. But I'm kind of thinking that he won't be a bounty hunter much longer. so he might not need all that space.
I kind of think Book of Boba Fett ends with Boba Fett being like, "Oh, I just realized I'm terrible at this. Take all my stuff. I'm going to." Does Star Wars have a pleasure planet? In Star Trek, it's Ryza.
Zeltron?
Zeltron. Yeah,
Zeltron.
that's hilarious. Alex and I think the exact same way.
All right, I'm going to Zeltron.
What's
Those
on
old-
Zeltron?
Those old Marvel comics got me through some lonely nights.
Ooh,
Pink ladies in bikinis, Molly. That's what's on Zeltron.
I need to look
Speaking
this
of that, I need to complain about something else before you move on.
Go for it.
Those New Republic cops suck. I
Carson
hate them.
Teva is a treasure, and I will not hear this slander.
They are so bad at their jobs. It's unbelievable. Every scene with them is basically the same. Oh, hey, isn't it that murderer who like blew up that facility? Okay, well, never mind. We'll just maybe see him sometime later.
I
Whatever.
do think that's the point. I think that
Yeah.
the New Republic is like they're right next to Tatooine, and they're not doing anything about the Pikes.
Yeah.
Like I think that's a plot point. Not
Isn't he kind of hinting at the fact that he also knows that the Mandalorian is screwing around with the Imperial Remnant and like the enemy of your enemy?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's kind of what I took from it. Like he
Yeah.
blew up a base and like he's causing havoc. He captured Moff Gideon. Like
but
let the man do his thing.
it-
Speeding ticket. Come on, I'm friends with the cop.
It seemed like he wanted to genuinely talk to him when he was
Yeah.
like, "Do you mind answering some questions?"
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Din took off. I didn't get the sense that Carson was like, "I'm going to put this dude away."
Mhm.
yeah, that's fair. But they're still bad at their jobs. Gang war going on. They're handing out speeding tickets.
Well, I mean, they're only a couple decades away from like their entire capital system getting blown up, so they're not great.
It's like they know that, and they're like, "What's the point?"
They got 3
Yeah, there's
X-wings
a,
to patrol a galaxy. So
There's a super laser being built here. Should we report it? Do you want to spend reports all day? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Hey, Andy.
Oh yeah, you can just shove a bunch of heads in the astromech.
That's
Don't-
Grogu's seat.
That made me wonder, do you think so Din doesn't have a ship? He went and he killed that Klaatuini at the start, and then he went to the ring. So was he on like public transport? Was he on a space bus with a bag with a head in it? And we just skipped over that scene.
Yeah, he showed it to that kid, the Rhodian kid, and he was like,
Uh-huh.
"Ooh."
I think he probably took a head on a bus.
were they on different planets at the beginning? Like, or was he on the same one? Like when he got the bounty, then turned it in.
Unclear.
Yeah,
Hmm.
could have been the
I
same planet, I
figured-
guess.
I figured because there was the establishing shot
Mhm.
of the ring that was him moving, but it's possible that all took place on the same planet.
Yeah, maybe they wanted to have the first establishing shot be the man himself. So they,
That butcher shop was awesome, though. I mean, Justin was talking about the smaller stories in Star Wars. Like, that was so cool. I used to work in one of those places, so I was so into that.
I loved the butcher shop. It felt very much like a mob front.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And they're playing like whatever sabacc game, Star Wars poker back there.
I just love
He's
that
like-
Klaatuinians are so popular now.
Yeah.
Have they
He's
shown
like,
up before?
I don't know who that is. That doesn't look like me at all.
Yeah, last time you streamed, Mark,
Really?
with webcam on,
Oh.
calling you dog faced.
Oh damn!
Oh. That's fine.
I don't think you've ever. So yeah, I don't even know what you look like. So
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, I don't. It's you just make jokes. It's fine.
Wait, is that true, Eck?
yeah, I think so. I don't know what Mark looks like.
Okay, I'll text you.
I've
a
never met him
We'll
in
text you
person.
pictures. We have so many
Come
bad
on.
pictures of Mark.
Let's go.
Watch the first scene again and make that joke.
Let's get into some questions.
Wow, he looks
Okay,
like
well,
an ugly
the first
Klaatuini.
super chat, the first super chat is coming from the Templin Institute and says, "Bring that Templin guy on more."
Whoa.
Oh.
Hey, thanks so much. Feels like the audience is really on my side here.
Yeah, they're not saying that you complain too much at all.
No one says that. I make
I wanna
sure
make
of
it
it.
clear that Mark is a dear friend of mine.
Oh, is it awkward that you think we're friends, but I don't?
Okay.
Keep him away for a little longer this time.
I know he keeps forgetting that I can do that.
He
I
thinks
hope he's
well, he
still
thinks
talking.
people can hear him.
Uh-huh. Let's see. Gonk on stilts. Thanks for your question. Why did
Gonk on
Mando
stilts.
use a ladder when he has a jetpack? Just fly, bro.
Feels expensive.
Yeah. I guess so.
He'd have to
Man's-
like fly and hover and then like go down. I don't know how
Yeah.
easy that is with a jetpack.
I was
Man's
yelling
down
while
on his
muted.
luck.
Were you talking about the staircase at the start?
When
The
he
ladder?
like
Yeah, which
almost
ladder?
falls down the ladder.
When he was climbing down
Oh,
to
right.
the armor.
I think I have an explanation. I think I was just like too kind of close quarters to
Mhm.
try like launching your jetpack.
Yeah, you could just fly straight into the ceiling.
Yeah.
If you've ever played
Here
Shadows
you
of the
go,
Empire,
Mark.
they're kind of unreliable.
Oh god, the jetpack levels on Shadows are terrible.
Everyone in the chat talk
Gaul
about how
spaceport,
much you love Mark because it makes him deeply uncomfortable.
I like how you
Also,
shared
Boba Fett's
the
in
"We
that
love
game,
you" chat, but not the one directly below it.
Huh? Wait,
Nothing.
which one?
I didn't see it.
But since he already read it.
I agree.
You don't pick your friends; they pick you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Mark
Something
chose
like
me.
that. All right, Jack Smith, thanks for the super chat. Darksaber in live action had me realize how much of a unit Pre must have been. Dude held his own against Maul and Kenobi with no forced user training. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the weight of the Darksaber stuff. Like it's apparently
think-
heavier if you don't believe in yourself. I don't know.
That's a really good way of putting it, but kind of, yeah.
Okay, not to be that guy again, but didn't that seem a little heavy-handed? Where it's like literally, oh, the weight of the blade, which represents Mandalore, is currently too heavy for this guy.
It's heavy
Yeah,
with burden.
So
Yeah.
that's all kind of set up in Star Wars Rebels. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Alex
So-
is like, I have a video on this coming.
Yeah. When Kanan was teaching Sabine how to use it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that scene.
Yeah. And I knew I was like, something's telling me I should rewatch Trials of the Darksaber today, and I did, and I'm glad I did. But basically, all of like any lightsaber, not just the Darksaber, like all of your thoughts and intentions and feelings, like are transferred into energy that move through the crystal and help power the blade. That's putting it simply, but yeah, the blade feeling heavy is because the weight of Mandalore was in his hands and he couldn't handle it.
Plus, he just cut himself, and he's probably scared.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Man, it'd be really annoying to have like a lightsaber like frying pan or something, where it's like, oh man, my egg stuck to this non-stick pan. What happened? Oh, you didn't believe it could read your thoughts and you're out of balance.
The weight of your
Screwed up
family's
those eggs.
breakfast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be the best cook because I always want eggs. Like I'd believe in myself hard every morning.
Just because if you
Boil 'em.
want it enough, it'll happen.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yeah. I like that. Do you want me to read the next one?
Oh, my bad.
Are we taking
oh,
turns or not?
Hey, my bad. Jack Smith, thank you for another super chat. We judge the armor for being in a cult/strict, but she is honorable and wise. She put Mando first, not her pride. She could have challenged Din and won. Cool, no helm. Bo, thanks for leading everyone to their death. I don't know what cool no helm means, but that is a good point that the armor could have kicked Din's ass and didn't.
Yeah, I thought when she got the Darksaber, she was like, all right, well, this is mine now.
She did look like she had that thought, like when what's his name? When Bilbo puts the ring on or takes the ring for a second.
We're grading on a curve though, right? Because she did kick him out because he took off his helmet like that.
Yeah.
She's like, you're not a Mandalorian anymore. Get out.
No, I could have been the leader of the whole planet, so he took off your hat.
And she just lets him take it. Like, all right, well, I guess the Darksaber's yours.
The whole planet of two people. Yeah. Have fun. GG.
I wonder if that'll come back to bite him. Like,
Maybe she has plans for him.
Yeah.
She
Well, you
knows
know
how
how-
susceptible he is to like the way. So
Yeah.
if she knows he's gonna go to the waters of transformation or something, he's gonna try to go like fix himself, and she probably knows that.
well, I wonder if she's going to send other Mandalorians after him, kind of like in Chapter 3 when he decided to take Grogu and like all the beacons went off and all the bounty hunters went after him. It's like now he's out of the Mandalorian guild, so maybe other Mandalorians are just going to keep coming to try to take the Darksaber from him.
This is a tangent, but I had a question. They
Okay.
mention a prophecy of some kind where they're like, the mythosaur is going to guide us to the whatever. Boba Fett's symbol is the mythosaur, right? So I thought my interpretation was that Boba Fett was actually going to become the king of Mandalore.
Well, in
Am I wrong?
Legends,
Doubt it.
that was the case, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Legends.
Yeah, he became Mandalorian Legends.
Oh,
Train Jaina.
he could
Killer
again. We don't
Bro.
know.
Yeah, he might.
It is true. The mythosaur, that's a good theory. And I mean, that would give him his clan in a way too. But yeah.
I kind of took it in a much more literal sense, where I
Me
was
too.
like, yeah, she said, oh, but the mythosaur is just legend. And I'm like, I want you to go to Mandalore and find one. I feel like Din rode a blurg in The Mandalorian. Boba Fett's going to ride a Rancor in this show. They're going to just keep one-upping each other. So now Din has to go find a mythosaur.
Zillo Beast coming back.
It reminded me of what Bo-Katan said, like, don't believe everything you hear about Mandalore. Maybe she knows that, like, yeah, mythosaurs are back, baby.
Yeah.
Go get you one.
I have an island off the coast of Tatooine.
3 mythosaurs in storage.
I think Boba Fett is going to go and open his petting shop
zoo.
or petting zoo. Yeah. He's going to retire and do that.
I think he's going to stay as crime lord. Like I've said before too, where they're like seem to be building up to a Thrawn trilogy. I think he's going to be like the crime boss type that helps the New Republic.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah.
The Talon card kind
Talon
of
card, yeah.
role. Yeah.
And that's what they're going to rename Slave 1 to, the wild card.
Ooh. I like that.
They should call it Freeman 2. Gordon class.
I'm a person and my name is Boba Fett.
I'm surprised we didn't get a line like that with all the prequel references in this episode.
Yeah, seriously.
Wizard.
It
Oh
still
my God,
doesn't sound good.
I had like the biggest face palm when he said that. Just it came out of nowhere, and I was like, he didn't even like put that much gusto behind it. He was just like wizard. I was like, come on, dude.
I never knew that was Beggar's Canyon. I thought Beggar's Canyon was something else. So I learned because I always think of Beggar's Canyon from Rogue Squadron, the N64 game,
right,
where you fly through it and race Wedge. So like, I didn't know it was the same thing. So I learned something, and I was like, I kind of wonder how they did that. Like, did they really recreate all that digitally for one scene? Like, pretty goddamn impressive.
I guess. What I'm shocked about is that no one has cleaned up the ramp. It's been 40 years, and they're like, just
maybe they
leave
just
all that
used
wood
footage
there.
from. Maybe they just used footage from episode 1 then for it.
Maybe.
Maybe it's like a national landmark, and there's a plaque, and it says Anakin messed this up. He was really good at pod racing.
That's like in Tatooine Ghost when they go back to Tatooine, and like child Anakin's like still a star from his racing days, and most people don't know that he's Darth Vader. They just venerate this 9-year-old kid who disappeared.
Real quick before the next question, I just wanted to say hey to RX Fonts. I'm wearing their shirt.
Oh,
I love
nice.
this shirt. Yeah. So go check out their shirts.
They have cool shirts.
I think I followed them on Twitter, maybe.
Let's see. Matt McDonald has the next super chat here. Hello. Can we all agree that the real question after this week's episode is how long until we get to see Grogu riding in the droid part of Den's N1? Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That's obvious.
No? Mark,
I don't agree to that.
It's gonna be on a million t-shirts, so it doesn't matter. It's ready. It's coming.
T-shirts are already being printed. You
It
can't
is
stop
inevitable.
this.
Yeah.
What if Grogu's back there holding the head of the bounty, playing with it like the ball?
That does seem like something Mando would do.
They just have to escalate everything. Oh, how can we make Grogu even cuter? Okay, we'll give him a Beskar skull cap, and then we're going to put in a bubble.
It's working. It's working.
Yeah, I'm in.
Not on me.
Yeah. Well, They don't care about you. They care about Molly and everyone like her.
Yeah, you'll hate watch it anyway. It doesn't matter.
I'm beginning to understand that more and more. I've said this before. I thought for sure Mandalorian was going to kill Grogu first episode of that show. I was surprised when he didn't. And then I realized I don't understand Star Wars at all.
I think that's very true.
And yet,
Based
I
on
talk about it.
several conversations we've had.
My goodness.
Well,
I will
joke's on
say,
you, I get paid
I'm
either
happy
way.
the Book of Boba Fett didn't take on, didn't do Grogu 2.0. When we saw that, I don't even know her name, like the street girl in the gang. I thought,
Trash.
yeah, I thought she was going to be like, obviously she's older, so not Grogu, but child stand-in number 10
Yeah,
for Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just got Grogu, then Omega, now trash.
Mm-hmm.
She's pretty good with a knife.
Yeah. So is Omega. Well, a bow,
Plus
I guess.
Yeah.
Frank Donatelli, thanks for the next question. The N1 is my favorite chip, and I surprisingly cried joyful tears when they wheeled it out. What is the thing in Star Wars that hit your heart unexpectedly? I mean, I would have...
The BD droid for Alex.
Yeah, well, that wasn't unexpected, I guess, but just the fact that it was unexpected that it appeared at all, if that counts. But I knew if someone had told me, hey, you're going to freak out if a BD droid ever shows up, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds right. I don't know what would be unexpected. Like, I got to think about that. I'm not sure.
Mark, does anything bring you joy?
Yeah, in Star Trek Beyond, when they showed the photo of the original cast, my heart, that's the only time I've gasped in the theater, and I was so embarrassed. As for Star Wars, I thought it was really cool in Mustafar when that showed up in Rogue One. I think that was one where I kind of, my heart skipped a beat. Like anything when Vader shows up, I'm usually into it. I think he's pretty cool.
He's all right.
Yeah. The Vader hallway scene gets me every time. That's kind of a big one for a lot of people. But I will talk about so everybody was like freaking out over Luke showing up at the end of Mando season 2. And I was like, yeah, okay. I guess I saw that coming, I guess. But then when R2-D2 rolled out from behind him, I just like squealed because I wasn't expecting that. And I was like, oh my God, of course he would be there too. And then him and Grogu had a little moment. So.
Yeah, that was like the we know you're sad, but here's R2-D2, you'll feel better.
Yeah. I think he's bouncing around.
We needed those little beeps.
Oh, wait, I got another one. The Bad Batch, when the head of Kamino, and this is me being serious, by the way, when head of Kamino, the Prime Minister is talking to Tarkin, and the Prime Minister's like, oh, we made this deal with the Republic. And Tarkin's like, oh, yeah, we're the Empire now. Like, that has no bearing. I was actually really into that because that has to do with like legal personalities. And at the time I was like reading a bunch of stuff about the Soviets versus the Russian Federation. It was this whole thing. So I just, to see that reference in Star Wars, God, I suck.
I remember you telling me about that. And then we had this whole conversation about how you were like, they should do that more. And I was like, I mean, it's cool when it happens, but Star Wars isn't real.
We had a patron on our book club thing yesterday talking about like how much they loved politics in Star Wars. And I think a lot of people do. So that's valid.
Dozens of us.
For me, I think the surprise, well, obviously like the Luke one, but I mean, that's not really surprising for like a hit me hard. My favorite Star Wars moment like of the new era was in The Force Awakens when they played Burning Homestead during the Kylo Rey fight. I really liked that when she grabs the lightsaber. That was really good. And the Thrawn reveal for Rebels in the trailer where that's like the best trailer ever, where it's
that's one of my favorite Star Wars moments is just watching the live stream of that trailer.
Yeah, that trailer was so sick.
That was so much fun.
And the trailer for Clone Wars season 7 was really like the first one, the surprise one was really good, but like that one kind of cheats because it used the Force Awakens trailer music that everyone watched like a million times back in the day.
The Kylo Skywalker fight or Luke Skywalker fight in Last Jedi was also incredible. I was on edge for that one. That was so cool. That might be my favorite Star Wars moment like ever.
I like the Yoda moment from that movie is definitely.
Oh, that was so good too.
I love that moment specifically because Alex was not For once, Alex was the one not paying attention. As soon as they
I was
panned
turning to
over,
you to make a dumb joke.
He's on
they
his
panned
phone.
over to show like the back of Yoda's head, and I was like, finally, for once, it was you not paying attention and you missed it.
Oops.
Let's see here. Strigon Kid, thanks for the next question. Is it weird that the armor has an issue with the spear being made of Beskar, but is okay with the Darksaber and whistling birds being made from it? Oh, like being a weapon.
I forgot about the whistling birds.
The whistling birds aren't meant to kill Beskar, though. Like, the thing about the blade or the spear was that it's meant to pierce Beskar, which the Darksaber doesn't really do.
Yeah, I think it's more about, you're right, the
like a weapon forged against you.
Yeah, we could kill each other with this, and we don't want that.
That kind of bummed me out, actually, to get rid of that spear.
Yeah, I liked it.
I was surprised they did that, yeah. But
like,
I
so
liked
quickly, too.
Yeah, I liked the reasoning behind it, of exactly that, like, we shouldn't be killing ourselves or letting anyone else do it.
I kind of wonder whether they remove the spear just because it's a pain to film with. Like, I imagine it's really annoying to have such a huge thing on your back. Like, it's weird too, because I think it's actually telescoping. Like, they've shown it, I thought once, like going into a smaller form, but he's always just straight up got it on his back. So
yeah,
it just got really
he can't
annoying.
figure out how it works. He's like, I did this once.
There's
but
a
I
button
can't.
somewhere, but my hands are too small.
It did look like it when they kind of first introduced it, that like
it
would get longer and shorter. It's
'Cause
got
it's
some
like-
button on it, like a lightsaber that extends it and then shortens it, but no one knows where it is.
It's been lost to time. Secrets lost to time.
Miranda here, thank you for the super chat. Happy Mando 2.5 day. Was that the Ring of Kafrene? If so, this episode also connected to Disney Star Wars. No, that was not the Ring of Kafrene. Because the Ring of Kafrene, is that more like an asteroid ring?
Yeah.
It's two asteroids linked by a bunch of skyscrapers and stuff.
Yeah.
It's also an asteroid belt.
Which is also like, I want to go back there. I loved that location in Rogue One. I would love to see it again.
I find that, like, I like those locations too, but to me, they don't match like the aesthetic of Star Wars as well as the ring in today's episode did, which is kind of weird because obviously people associate rings with Halo, but like space rings like that are like a staple of like 1970s sci-fi literature, like Larry Niven, as I mentioned, and like the way the buildings and everything were, like it had like a simplicity to it that to me was like very original trilogy Star Warsy. Like the big space station in that movie is literally a giant sphere. So
it looked kind of Imperial to me, that ring. I thought it might have been like an Imperial ship thing, and then they just transformed it into Space Las Vegas or whatever.
Isn't there a big ring in Squadrons too, Alex? I thought in the campaign, isn't there like a big mega structure they fight near?
That I can't remember. I only played the campaign once. I mean, I know that there were.
They did mention father years.
I was going to bring that up. Yeah. I know that there were ring stations. I mean, Kuat was, but nothing like
Not
the
like
Halo
that, yeah.
ring.
No.
Yeah, not like that. It was all like enclosed rings. But yeah, I thought that was an awesome location, and I'm glad that they're doing seemingly more and more with the volume.
Yeah, I saw one of the, I don't know who it was, one of the producers or something from The Mandalorian say we could never have imagined doing that in Mando Season 1. And you could tell in Mando Season 1 that they were kind of like self-limiting in the kind of environments. And then in Mando Season 2, you could tell pretty much right away when you saw the episode, I guess it was episode 1 with the crate dragon, like there was nothing like that scale, and they just keep bringing it to the next level. And I'm guessing that now, like based on these massive environments, that they must be doing like some like AI generated environments, because like the ring is so detailed. If you stop and look at it, same with like Mos Espa.
Yeah,
like,
I remember you talking about Mos Espa.
Yeah, like the amount of detail they have is crazy. Now, like with Mos Espa, obviously you can reuse that digital create like that, those graphics and everything else a million times if you need to in the environment. But like if that ring only shows up one time, like that would have been, that has to be impossible without some sort of like AI automation or something.
I wonder if it's a location that will pop up in Andor or something. And
I hope that's actually a really good call. Yeah.
that they're like, hey, we're already developing this place, so why don't we just use it again?
Mhm.
Cassian goes to all the rings.
Yeah.
Dorky Goblin, thanks for the next question in Super Chat. Terrifying to think the planet had become so irradiated they could only send droids. Not sure how cleansing the irradiated water of Mandalore will be.
That's sad. Like Din's
That's
like
great.
taking a bath, like I'm atoning.
You got all the cancer now.
Yeah,
The
Yeah, that
armor is
was-
probably like, gotcha.
that was nuts. Although, like, how long ago was that?
Like
What,
30
like-
years? 20 years?
I don't know how, like, the toxicity of radiation in Star Wars works, but maybe it's been long enough. Maybe we can just
It's-
hand wave that away.
Yeah, it's something I would definitely believe that they would just be like, it's gone. Like, we're not going to follow the
I'm sure-
exact half-life of a TIE
sure-
bomber's bomb.
I'm sure Din has a Geiger counter in his suit somewhere, and he'll be safe.
Dragonus Prime, thanks for your super chats. It's your dude. I think this episode was vital to the show's story. It shows how much Tatooine needs Boba, as the Republic doesn't care about the Pikes.
Good point.
There is that.
That is a good point.
Yeah, the New Republic is a little frustrating.
Yeah, the New Republic, like they've got like a level of how much of a shit they give about you, and it's like you check the map for like how far away you are from the core, and it's like
Yeah.
It's like if you're past like the mid rim, it's like they give literally no shits unless they can ticket you and get a few bucks from a
Do you
traffic
think
stop.
Trapper Wolf and all these guys were like bottom of their class and put them in the outer rim?
Maybe.
No, I don't think so. Maybe, but I feel like he's probably he's got a lot of area to cover on his own. Obviously, he's not doing it all, so I kind of feel like he's probably just. I always imagined him as like highly skilled, but he's not one for authority. He's a bit of a loose cannon. He does what he needs to do to get the job done.
Like a wolf.
Is this Trapper Wolf?
Yeah.
I love this. You should write fan fiction
he's
about
old
him.
school.
Oh, I
Yeah.
have. It's just a little
Wait,
too smutty to discuss here.
I will admit that part of the reason I love Carson Teva so much is just knowing how big of a fan Paul Sun-Hyung Lee is and how much fun he must be having. I'm just like, yeah, keep him coming.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Alex Franco 25 says, "What a great episode of The Mandalorian. When do you think the episode of the Book of Boba Fett will come out?"
We'll probably be back on next Wednesday.
Yeah, somewhere around next Wednesday. Which I think it'll be even more exciting to see Boba Fett after getting Star Wars but no Boba Fett. They're just
That I will say that I liked this week's episode a lot. If they do it again next week, I will absolutely have
they
the
can't.
feelings that you're feeling, Mark. Which no, I don't think they will.
They
But
can't
if
afford
they
to.
if they really keep shifting the focus away from Boba Fett, then I'll be like, uh-oh.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Because
that
there
would be
are
a bit of
only
an
2
issue.
episodes left.
Hmm.
Stephen Ray Morris, thanks for your super chat. Happy Bryce Dallas Howard Day. Wow, what an incredible hour of Star Wars. Any Star Wars character or story that you might want to see her tackle next? I'd love to see her do something with Rey and Poe. I don't know. I really like what she does in the volume. I think she's done some of the best looking episodes. I loved the one with Bo-Katan in season 2 of Mando.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was great. She obviously
If they-
excels at action as well.
Mhm.
Like the
If they
choreography
announced-
for that episode. Sorry.
No, it's all right. I was just, if they announced a series with her like they did for Deborah Chow, I would be very excited by that.
Yeah, maybe she'll do some Ahsoka episodes, or at
Yeah.
least one.
Mhm.
Dead air. You got dead air
Do you have any thoughts, Mark?
on Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah,
Mhm.
what do you want to see her direct?
I don't know. I'm a fan of her as much as you folks are. I got nothing against her, mind you, but I remember there was a scene in oh god, what was the first one she did with the Raiders on that fish planet?
I'll
the
say
Bo-Katan
that
episode.
that one wasn't a favorite episode of mine.
Yeah, I remember thinking, oh, this is like kind of
Yeah,
weird.
it's the Sorgan episode, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think she directed that one, or else my entire
Yeah, she
opinion
did.
is okay. Yes, I remember after that one thinking, hey, this is kind of weird. Who did this? And then I checked it out. And I'm like, okay. And then it was only later on that I realized that some of my favorite episodes, like the Fish Planet one, were also her. So I don't know, her mixed bag with her for me
Well,
at least.
I think that I don't know. I'm giving a lot of leeway to season 1 because the volume was such a new thing. Because I think that a lot of Mando season 1 felt a little off to me at times. Like I feel like watching the Book of Boba Fett is often how I watched Mando season 1, or how I felt watching it, where I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about this show. And it was about episode 6, I think, where it really, really clicked with me,
Yeah.
even though I had enjoyed episodes prior. And then season 2 was a lot better. So I'm kind of like watching Book of Boba Fett season 1, where I'm like, this is mostly okay. And I think it's going to keep improving.
Yeah, I guess my point is I don't have an idea of what her distinct style is yet. I've liked episodes she's done. I haven't liked episodes she's done, so I couldn't tell you what her strengths are yet. Because she's just getting going, isn't she? She's like, this is her debut kind of series, was The Mandalorian?
I think so. I think she did a short film before this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't really have a strong point here. I don't feel too strongly either way.
I don't know enough about directing to be like, oh, she's a great director. I think this episode was written well, but I have enjoyed all of her stuff so far. Let's see. Gonk on Stilts, thanks for the super chat. Did the bombing of Mandalore and the following shots remind anyone else of Terminator? Also, why did they use ties over orbital bombardment?
Because they watched the video I just did on orbital bombardment. No, that whole scene was awesome. That's one of those things that I've always kind of wanted to see, but you assume that you'll never actually get a chance to see it just because, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like something they do. So when I saw that, I was super into that. Like an atomic explosion in Star Wars, like outside of Scarif, I guess that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. I guess maybe they just like thought, okay, most people know what TIE bombers look like if they've seen Empire Strikes Back. Let's put a bunch of those in to just like give people a visual reference.
Yeah, I think that it probably just looked more impactful to be like, here's 1,000 ships flying over, bombing this place, instead of like, there's one Star Destroyer up there just like pounding the planet. It was probably a stylistic choice more than anything else. And then, yeah, it was absolutely a Terminator look.
Yeah.
Politically motivated, like the district or like the factory that makes the bombs is located in some Moff's like electoral district. So he's like, okay, we gotta like get production ramped up. Let's send in the bombers.
Big proton bomb has too much influence in the Senate.
Ken Schuler, thanks for the super chat. I get to say Dank Ferrick again. I'm definitely on the side that Din is what we wanted Boba to be. I like Boba's story, but the execution isn't the best. I actually would agree with that I'm really, really into what they're doing with Boba Fett, but the episodes have felt uneven. Like I'm super into the content, but sometimes the choices they make, I'm like, I don't know about that.
Would you have been into it if they got rid of all the present or modern day scenes and just focused on him with the Tuskens, getting his ship back, that kind of stuff?
I think it might have felt a little more focused. But I imagine they're trying to use all of these series to build towards this big like crossover event or whatever is going to happen. So I think they wanted to keep people interested in the present day as well. But yeah, part of me kind of thinks if they had chosen one or the other, it might have felt a little more cohesive.
Yeah, I'm thinking of all my favorite scenes, and they're all in the flashbacks. I've said this before to you privately, but second episode with them dancing around the fire, I have rewatched that. Like whenever I'm bored, I'll just put that on. It's so good. I love it.
I do think the Rancor scene, which was in the present day, I really loved that one. But yes, I would agree that most of my favorite scenes have been in the past.
We talked about this last night that like so many shows right now are doing this same thing where you're like, here's the past, here's the present, past, future, in between time, past, and it's like we just watched Yellow Jackets. We're starting Station 11 right now,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of that like back and forth type stuff.
A ton of these shows are doing like a flashback, flash forward, constantly moving, and I'm like, what's going on that every writer right now wants to do this?
I think it's a bit of a crutch. It gives the appearance of like a mystery or depth to something that might not have it.
That's true. This Is Us is a pretty big show, and they
Well,
I don't know if they
Lost.
started that. Yeah, Lost
Yeah.
had something to do with starting that, but yeah, interesting.
I'm just like,
stuff.
every show we start is
Mhm.
doing that.
I mean, I'm not saying for Boba Fett specifically, although I think that is maybe the case. I just remember that was a thing when I went to film school. They mentioned that as like a cliche that like novice screenwriters do. Not that I'm accusing that of anybody involved in this. I'm just
yeah.
asking questions.
Boy, Mark, you must really
You
not
just
ever
think it's
want to
interesting.
work
I just
for
think
Star
it's
Wars.
interesting. Yeah, I'm part of Big Star Trek, trying to take it down from the inside.
Lord
I'm
Hosk has the
sorry.
next question here. Earlier episodes were fan service done right. This was done wrong. N1 scenes just dragged. Chekhov's guns left unfired. Leg cut and weapons in a box.
I'll disagree. Although I will say that we had a friend, one of our friends. I was gonna say who it was because people might know him, but he'd probably be mad because he was worried about his contrarian opinion. But he also felt that the fan service was a little too much. I had super fun watching all of it. I also don't think the leg being cut is a Chekhov's gun so much as it is showing how Din is improperly using the Darksaber. And he doesn't know how to use it. He burnt himself with his own weapon. So that's what I took away from that.
Yeah.
The weapons in the box, I do kind of agree with. That,
He's
like,
just show how vulnerable he is without his own ship.
Mhm.
yeah, there's that. That's a good point. And just, I think the idea that he doesn't really value the Darksaber the way he should yet.
That's a good point.
And it knows
yeah,
that. That's why it's
the
so
vulnerability
heavy.
is good. Yeah. I don't want to carry this thing around. It's heavy.
The entire episode is fan service in a way, right? Like it's just fan service for the Mandalorian as opposed to like the original trilogy or the prequels or whatever.
I don't know. I mean, there was definitely fan service for. There didn't have to be a BD droid there. The N1, all of the pod racing stuff was very.
I guess it's just like fan service within fan service. Then
sure,
it's like an onion, has layers.
Yeah. You're going to be hard pressed to find Star Wars stuff without a ton of fan service being crammed into it somewhere.
Is that wrong? I would say no, not all the time. Because I was into that as the Starfighter. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
me too.
I think I agree. The scene did drag a little bit for me, but I thought it was cool.
It gotta get some yellow paint though, because that they ruined it with that silver stuff. Yeah,
it was like a 10-minute sequence of them building a starfighter, which didn't have to be 10 minutes long, but whatever. Like, fan service is like a sliding scale for everyone on what's acceptable and what's not. And I just know I was smiling like that entire episode, so it worked for me.
It's tough, right? Because like sometimes it feels like the criticism of fan service is like, how dare they make a Star Wars show for Star Wars fans?
Well, I remember like when Rogue One came out, and I still see it quoted all the time. Like Red Letter Media did their review, and they were like chanting AT-ST and just like making fun of the fact that an AT-ST was in Rogue One. And I was like, why wouldn't it be? That the Empire has occupied a planet. They're going to use AT-STs. So like they're doing something that makes sense within the universe, and they're making fun of that. So
that's because they don't like Star Wars.
It's...
If it had been Star Trek, they would have been all over it. It's 100% true.
Yeah, it's a different thing for everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're a fan of Star Trek Discovery either. But yeah, some stuff makes sense. The ATs, I'm into it. But who are the guys from Tatooine from that bar? It was kind of weird that they were there. Like that felt a little weird, but it didn't offend me.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
which guys?
I forget their names.
Dr. Abazan.
And I've got the death sentence and something systems.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was one
that was
moment where I rolled my eyes in the theater.
Yeah.
But I mean, I also rolled my much younger eyes when Chewbacca showed up in Return of the Jedi.
I also
Revenge of the Sith.
Or Revenge of the Sith, sorry, yeah.
I'm imagining you being like, what, Chewbacca's still around in Return of the Jedi?
This is bullshit. They didn't ditch his ass. This is a serious mission. No, but yeah. Star Wars is always, like for me, I kind of see Star Wars as it's not, for one, it's not that serious. It's just not, like, but it's also more of like a mythic tale than anything else. Like there's no other, like that's the only real way that I can see these stories where all these characters are intertwined, and it's like, it is like a fairy tale in a way. So I
It
always
absolutely is.
I always kind of evaluate things by that metric.
Yeah. And like Mark, you brought something up earlier that I meant to respond to, where you were like, isn't it a little heavy-handed that like the sword is too heavy for blah blah blah? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, to an adult, but like George Lucas insists over and over that these stories are for kids, and they're not really supposed to tell really complex lessons. It's like it is heavy-handed quite a lot.
Yeah.
But whatever. Like I don't mind that, because when I see things and I understand them, it makes me feel smart. Like I understand literature.
I want to feel stupid. And that's not me making a joke even. Like I want to watch stuff where afterwards I'm like, oh wow, I never thought of that, or that was a really interesting thing. But of course it's so hard for me, because
Yeah, you're
so smart.
So smart.
Yeah.
You're definitely the smartest person I know.
Thank you.
Anyway, Kenwood, thanks for the next super chat. Din is just upset that his kid went off to Jedi college and he has to take the bus from the Spaceport Authority to pick up his used car.
Oh,
Yeah,
basically.
he is.
He's having a rough go.
He lost everything. He literally did. He lost his ship. He lost his son. He got fired. No one wants to be his friend. The second Boba Fett shows up and offers him a bag of money.
He's like, I'll do it for free.
Like, yeah, no, just give me a hug.
I'm going to go over a couple of these next questions because some of them are short. Gonk on Stilts with another super chat. We need a Predator handshake with Mando and Boba. Yes. Yes. They need to like flex their...
Well, you'd want Carl Weathers in there too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Just real quick, because you bring it up, if you haven't seen the fan film Scorekeeper, some of my friends made it, and it's a Bosk/Predator like mashup, and there's a very good Predator handshake in it. Check that
Saw
out.
that on Twitter.
Andrew Pilla had a super chat that said the Journal of Jaren. That should have been the episode title, to be honest. Animated Sky said, am I the only one that had a roller coaster of emotions seeing BD and then seeing him immediately attacked? Oh, Alex was worried.
I was distraught.
Is that our first BD droid who's not BD1?
There's been some in comics.
Okay.
But otherwise, yes.
I
know the Dr. Aphra comics had one.
He's like the original BD.
Oh, is he actually?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
He didn't have a
you
number.
Can't explain Star Wars to me, then like it's a lie. That like that wrecks your brand, man.
Yeah. Yes,
man.
That was the original BD. He had no number.
Okay, thank you, Molly. Like I'm gonna go believe that now. It is. Well, it is. He is BD1, right? Isn't that his? Isn't he BD1? So yeah.
Yep. So
You're
I
right
will. This is my reaction to BD1 appearing, and then this is my reaction to it immediately being snatched up by a womp rat. So.
Oh my god, that feels like so long ago, but that was this morning.
Wait. Can you put the back up?
Which one?
The photo. Your reaction. Okay. Are your lights on?
Yeah, we have a lamp on.
Turn it off when you're watching a show. Come on.
Well, then
It's
people
not
can
that
see our
bright.
reactions.
Our camera is just really good in low light.
All right, it better be. That's all I can say.
This is Mark right now. Turn your lights off. What are you doing?
Man, if I had a photo of me, it'd be me just like arms crossed on a couch alone in the dark, just frowning.
Well, Alex used to be pretty adamant and not having any lights on, but then our reaction videos looked like crap. So I was like, let's turn the lamp on. And it's not that bad, right? There's no glare.
Molly's lucky I let her talk during the reactions anymore. I used to be like, no, we sit in silence while we watch these.
Alex is
I
like,
don't wanna-
what do you think we should do for our Patreon? And I'm like, let's do reactions. He's like, ugh.
I'm like, cool, but sit there silently, please.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And then PR with this next super chat said, in your opinion, are they backtracking Din's story?
I think we kind of talked about that a bit.
we covered this a little bit.
Yeah.
And I agree that
don't
he's
think
just
so.
Yeah, he's going to his comfort zone.
It's the
But,
same
like-
thing that Boba Fett's doing. He's going back to what he knows.
Like
but
if I
Justin
lost
said-
my kids or my wife broke up with me, like the first thing I'd be doing is hitting the dive bar I used to go to all the time to get disgustingly drunk and play Halo 3 for like 20 hours. So it's like that's his version of that.
Yeah.
So Mando shows up on wherever, and Luke's like, "Hey, like it's not cool that you're here, guy. Like we're trying to do some stuff, and you're really interfering." And it's just like a really awkward scene where nothing exciting happens except Mando feels bad. That's the Star Wars I want to see.
I mean, it might be. He might be like, you can't show up unannounced.
It's just it's not appropriate. Like it just
Read
turns
the-
into like
read
Curb
the
Your
court order.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah. Kyle Beckworth, thanks for the super chat. I loved this episode. It brought me so much joy that I needed. So what if it happened in the Book of Boba? So what if it happened in the Book of Boba Fett? These shows are connected. I agree. Mark is the only person in the world that disagrees.
Okay, if there was an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation in the middle of Star Trek: Deep
Never
Space
heard of
Nine,
Star what? Is that Star Wars offshoot?
We're Star Wars, Mark.
it's
Oh
fine.
no, he means Battlestar Galactica, I think.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough being a contrarian. It's tough to come into an environment where you know that your opinions aren't going to be in the majority. And I try.
But
I
you're
try
used to
put
it.
my case up. Yeah, I'm used to it.
But you don't show your face, do you?
Man, Molly's always the meanest.
She looks so nice, and then she just hits you with an absolute zinger.
There's this thing on Twitter that really hurt me once. I forget what it was.
That sounds
I might have
right,
been
though.
drunk. I'm sorry.
Thorough Unfiction, thanks for the next super chat. The grade for episode 5 is an A. So wizard. Concept art, you see the scimitar. BD
Oh,
looks,
really?
I'll have to look again. BD looks for cow. And would you eat meats in the meat locker there? I don't know what meats those were.
Try anything once.
Mm,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm up for it. All right, I'm going to see if I can find the scimitar real quick.
You mean
Help
the,
me out. What's the
the
scimitar?
ship?
like the symbol for it or the actual scimitar?
I was thinking this like Darth Maul's scimitar.
Yeah, that's what I thought he meant. I don't see it. I did notice a bunch of there's pretty much every episode has a Razor Crest flying around in the
Mm.
background.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Heck, we made that model, and damn it, we're going to use it.
yeah. Like there was one on Tatooine when he was flying in, which I thought was kind of funny.
I thought they were supposed to be rare.
Well, the asset isn't.
Mando's like, there goes one. There's one. Pelly's like, shut up. I'm building you a custom ship.
It's like in GTA when you're searching and searching for a specific car, and then the
And then
second you
yeah.
find it, like
Ah.
everyone has it. Yeah.
Is that R5 the like Skippy? Is that the
Yeah.
R5? Okay.
It is supposed to be the same droid.
The
You can see where his
R5.
bad motivator exploded.
Gotcha.
I just want to quickly call out K8A Murian chat saying no face reveal from Mark. This is the way. I wish I'd thought of that. That's what I should have said.
If only you liked Star Wars.
Yeah. Did they say that in the show?
Kermit the Pog, thanks for the question. See the cameo from the pole used to stop the trash compactor? I did see that. And now we
Oh,
finally
my-
have a name for it.
That's what that was. I knew
Is
I'd
that
seen
the
it somewhere else.
cryo whatever? The
Yeah, I have it
heat-
written down. A cryogenic density combustion booster.
That makes
Man.
Finally, we know what that pole is.
That makes
Now
me
we can-
so happy.
You can close up shop. Star Wars has been explained.
Yeah, that's it. That was the last thing I was waiting to explain.
Mhm.
I needed that one name.
The one who cannot smell. Thanks for the super chat. So Grogu's going to be in the N1 Astromech's port, right? Well, not according to Mark, but yeah, he's going to end up in there. He's got
For
to.
sure.
No, I
There's gonna
think
be
he
some
is
really
too.
cute concept art.
It annoys me.
Mm.
You know how like he always looks like a gremlin in the concept art? I can totally see him just like gremlin, full gremlin style in that little port there, just rocking out with like an egg in his mouth or something.
Yeah.
I wonder if like Den will do a spin or something, and Grogu's just going to be tumbling around. in the
Oh
bubble.
yeah. And then they'll sell those things that like stick on the inside of car windows. It all
Yep.
comes down to merchandise.
Yep.
And it'll be
I
a
think
Star
you're
Trek crossover. They'll have William Shatner in there with Mando, and it'll be like, "There's a gremlin on the wing."
That's so many.
Wow, yeah,
fandoms.
that's
Well, you
That's
don't like
too
my
many.
Star Wars, Star
Wait.
Trek, Twilight Zone classic crossover jokes?
Are there gremlins in Star Trek?
No, Twilight Zone.
I thought you
Nightmare
were
at
talking about the
30,000
movie
feet.
Gremlins.
Ah,
I know what you're talking about.
Crossovers.
I've seen it.
you're one of the good ones.
Thanks.
You
I
mean
love the Twilight
Tribbles,
Zone.
Mark? Tribbles.
They're
I
called
like
Tribbles,
Tribbles.
Mark.
Tribbles are the original Grogu. That's all I'm saying.
Aw.
They are pretty cute.
I mean,
Uh,
Grogu just is having sex all the time.
Yeah.
You said it.
Our Trooper Echo, thanks for the super chat. The criticism will die down when the season is complete and Book of Boba Fett finishes its own story. Yeah, I mean, I
Mhm.
think that's probably true.
I think so. Yeah, like what I said earlier, I think this episode will fit in better once the season is done, or hopefully it will.
Has anyone made the joke that this is a Mandalorian themed bookmark that someone put in the Book of Boba Fett?
No, that's
If
pretty
not, I'd
funny.
like to like
That's
claim
good,
to it.
yeah. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
tweet that out.
All right. Wait. Okay, I'll do it right now.
I'm going to tweet it first.
Oh no.
Joke's
you have
on
more
you, Alex.
followers.
Ever
Something-
since you revealed that video idea for tomorrow, I've just been working on it the whole time. Muted my mic, recorded it.
I'd be impressed, honestly.
Yeah, that would be honestly, yeah. If I were in your position, I would just be like, yeah, that's fair enough. You got me.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll read this one. Joel Davis, thanks for the super chat. I think the powers that be can see these shows being more interconnected than the MCU since it's all on streaming and they'll want to have people keep the subscriptions. So we'll all be in one place. That makes
I want to
sense.
bring up your question that you asked me earlier and that I was shooting down. But
Oh,
Molly
yeah.
asked me
Hard
there will
against
be-
it.
Yeah, Molly asked me if there will be an end credit scene. So the Book of Boba Fett will end somewhere on Tatooine, and then it'll like fade to that location in the past, and we'll see Obi-Wan there or something, just to be like, remember, Kenobi's on the way. And I was like, I do not want that. But what do you guys think?
There's identical credit scenes for every single show, just with different characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I don't think I like it. I don't
Yeah.
I don't need everything to lead into everything else.
Mm.
I don't really love the idea, but I could see them doing it if that's really where this is headed into like a very MCU like
Mhm.
direction.
Yeah, I can
I'm
see
okay.
it as well.
I'm okay with it for Ahsoka or the shows that are going to be involved in this. That they're building the climactic event, whatever they said.
Mhm.
That's fine with me. I don't want Book of Boba Fett to lead into Kenobi, and I don't want Kenobi to lead into Andor, and I don't want Andor to lead into the Acolyte. Like that,
Yeah.
it's just gonna get way too forced.
Mhm.
So don't do that. We don't
No
need to
pun
do that.
intended.
I kind of buy this idea, though. I think the end credit scene might just be like them panning across the landscape onto his old house or something.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. Oh, were you
Yeah.
saying that? Okay.
I can
should
see
really
it.
pay attention.
No, well, I was telling Alex that was my
Oh.
theory earlier today that we would get
I can
some kind
totally see it happening.
of Tatooine scene. Just a little like, hey, guess what? There's another show coming.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense.
See, yeah, like a lot of people would be freaking out over it, but I'm like, yeah, we're gonna see him in a couple months anyway.
Mhm.
We don't need to see him in the Book of Boba Fett.
No, we need to. think of the fans' reaction, Alex.
It would build hype. I understand that.
Yeah.
Stuart J, thanks for the question. Anyone else notice that Mando's gift for Grogu was bundled up, kind of like Grogu's head?
That was
Yeah,
funny.
I think that was on purpose.
Kind of cute.
Do you think the armorer did that on purpose?
I like to think so. She's like, I'm adorable.
She's like, I put in all the extra effort and no one appreciates me. Here you go. Tony White, thanks for the super chats. I thought the most important line was the one saying the Jedi, quote, no attachments was the opposite of the Mando creed focusing on connection. I did love that that Den pointed that out.
Mhm.
Or no, the armorer.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, I like that
Den said
too.
that it was the opposite.
Yeah.
Although Luke probably going to abandon that, right? Because I can't imagine him being that way with Ben.
No, I agree.
So
Like I think Luke's probably learned his lesson from like the power of love saving his dad. If he did,
Yeah,
he's an
well,
idiot.
I think people conflate like attachment with you're not allowed to like love anyone. And it was all that, the Jedi, for whatever reason, got so anti-attachment that they did exactly that. But it's supposed to be like, you can love people, just don't be like Anakin, where you love them to the point that you won't let them go and you want to control them and possess them.
don't tell me how to love, Alex.
Mark, you love me too hard. But
30 texts in 20 minutes.
Tell me about it, baby.
But we can talk about that offline.
Fine.
Henry Hammond says, I don't think it was a coincidence that we got mention of Tar Vizsla being the first Jedi Mandalorian, followed by them forging something for Grogu. That's still like a debate going, like, is Grogu Mandalorian? Like, I think he's too young to have chosen to follow the creed for himself.
I mean, the hardcore ones like the armorer are going to consider him a foundling.
Sure.
And yeah, let them, because then they're going to make him little armor.
And there's 3 of them left anyway, so who cares? What are they going to do?
Yeah.
If Grogu is flying around with a Beskar helmet and a jetpack, I'm out. I can't do it. It's too much.
I think he's too young for any of that. Like, people are asking if he's gonna build a lightsaber, and I'm like, he might, but I think he's too young for.
He doesn't. Yeah, like he's like a 2-year-old maybe, or like a 1-year-old. Like he's eating eggs all the time. Like he's just like, he's unstoppable. He's a menace. Like he's gonna be a kid for like wait until Din Djarin's dead, right? Like he's got to have another 50 so years like before he's even teenage.
It seems like it.
He'll completely forget about everything. I had the weirdest babysitter growing up.
It'll be interesting to see if he has like a growth spurt. I doubt he will, but yeah.
6 feet tall, bulging with muscles. Turns out Yoda was just, whatever.
Yoda had a deficiency, iron deficiency.
Gonk on Stilt says 2 more super chats. Thank you. Says, I thought the ring was Kuat for a second, and the Womp Rat attacking the BD unit made me think of that's the cutest effing thing I've ever seen meme with the rabbit. The rabbit? I don't know what that meme is.
Oh, you don't know that one?
Nope.
It was a streamer playing The Last of Us. And
I do know that meme. Okay. And then it dies and
she makes like
crying.
that exact sound.
Yeah.
It's funny.
That is accurate. That's basically how I reacted.
Miranda here has another question. I guess I remembered Kefrine wrong. It did remind me of the OSHA is this okay structure. What? Structures in Cloud City.
OSHA is like the people that decide safety measures on buildings and stuff.
Okay. OSHA is this okay structures in Cloud City, but even more terrifying with the void of space below. Best setting design in years. Thanks for all your great takes. That's true. Yeah. It's just like, I mean, there's no handrails anywhere.
Yeah. That's just Star Wars.
The galaxy has too many people already, so whatever.
If
Yeah,
you
so-
fall,
Taking all
you
the handrails.
deserve to die.
Let it sort itself out.
Mm.
If you fall off the space station without a jetpack, that's your own fault.
Yeah, like you got to be going down there for a reason. Like if you're in your, if you're having a backyard fight club and you fall into space, like away she goes.
Mike V, thanks for the super chat. Many are speculating Cad Bane or Rex in Filoni's ep, but without setting up anything for casual viewers, why would it be meaningful for them to show up? Boba being a clone hasn't even been touched on. I think Cad Bane could be in this story exactly the way
Yeah,
Black Chrysanthemum was.
yeah,
Like, to my parents watching, it's just another bounty hunter.
Mhm.
But to people who read the comics or watched the Clone Wars in this example, we'd freak out.
I don't know, because Cad Bane has a pretty distinct relationship with Boba, right? To bring him on as just another bounty hunter would kind of counter that.
Yeah, but I think there could be a line about like, oh, it's been a long time, or they could allude to some past, but
Oh, but that
It
seems like
doesn't-
such a waste of the character.
why?
Because I don't know, because they have this really strong connection. I mean, haven't watched the episodes, but from what I remember, Cad Bane like he trained him, and that's how he got the dent in his helmet and all that stuff.
I mean, those episodes didn't even air.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh.
It was
Well, I
more
still
like
maintain that Cad
it's more
Bane
like
deserves
Bosk
more of
who
a
does.
setup.
Bosk does more of the like training. What we see of Boba.
All right, well, what do I know? I just think Cad Bane's really cool, and I want to see him set up more.
Yeah, I think he's awesome. And I think that there's plenty of room for him to be in this. And I think that they can do it in a satisfying way that balances what diehard fans would want without being too confusing to anyone else.
Yep.
I have faith.
A Foster, thanks for the super chat and question. I would love Eck and Mark on as permanent guests for these review shows. You guys have great chemistry, and I want to see you messing with Mark every week.
You think you want that, but you don't.
And
Mark, did you send that one in?
I might have.
we now know his alt name on YouTube. And Gargantuan Buttocks, great
That one's me.
username. Great username. Says, cannot understand why everyone seems to want returning characters showing up. Mando season 1 was a completely new story and the best Star Wars since Return of the Jedi. I think there's a balance to be made.
Yeah, I go back and forth on it myself, because it is a form of fan service, and sometimes it goes too far. I mean, I was someone in Mando season 2 where I was like, don't put Luke in this. I do not want Luke in this. Like, I wanted Mando's season or Mandalorian as a whole to be just its own thing. And then Luke showed up and I liked it. So what do I know? But I don't know. I think some people like the idea that some stories can just be their own thing. And I'm getting that right now from the High Republic. The Acolyte's going to be its own thing. So I've accepted that like this whole Mando universe is not that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I am going to bring this super chat up because it's a very generous one. Thank you, Alex Franco 25. I really love seeing the Halo ring looking area. A nice change of scenery. I just hate sand. It's coarse and rough. It gets everywhere.
Yeah. I mean,
I loved the ring. And then I also thought it was like, I threw my arms up when Din was like, well, I guess I'll go to Tatooine. And he
why
did
can't
have a
they come
reason.
to you?
He didn't have a reason, yeah.
He did have a reason once he got there, but I was like, why is he just going to Tatooine? What's he doing?
I didn't realize how much I missed being in space thus far until we got this episode. And I was like, yes, give me something that's not on Tatooine.
I do love planet
like,
hopping.
Yeah, I like the stuff, the new and interesting stuff we're getting for Tatooine and like the Tuscans and stuff, but it's very dry.
I get it.
Nice.
Nice.
Batman is my dad. Thanks for the question. Molly vibing with the hair. And were those nukes being dropped? I assume so. Something.
Yeah, I don't know if
along
they're
those lines.
actually nukes, but they make big explosions.
I hope
Yeah,
they
but,
rip
like-
off Dune some more. Just call them atomics. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I assume it's the Star Wars equivalent of nuclear weapons. I think they had those in Legends. I don't know
Yeah.
if they've been mentioned in canon.
I don't think so. Maybe in one of the Thrawn books, but I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Dragonus Prime had another super chat. Says also, you only need storage space if you're bringing in bounties alive. You don't need a lot of storage space for a severed head. Yeah, we did bring that up.
I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold, but either way, it's just your head now.
I'll microwave your head if I have to.
If you're frozen in the carbonite slab, can you just like tie that to a rope and put it on the back of the ship?
It's like just married cans
Yeah.
just trailing behind. Just captured.
Yeah. Zachariah Deering, thanks for the super chat. If Din ends up getting a second ship for his job, what class would you prefer him to get?
Mm,
He needs something
I
with some
kind of
more
miss
space.
the Razor Crest.
So he needs more space and he needs a toilet. The other one
there's
had
no
a
refresher
toilet.
on an N1.
he's a guy. You can just pee out the door like the rest of us.
True.
It's a vacuum. It's
Throwing
even
a full
easier.
bottle out the canopy.
Grogu's just got like a litter box in the back.
That's what. If you guys ever watch Trailer Park Boys, that's the way of the road. You pee in a bottle and way of the road.
Maybe in Nova Scotia, but in the civilized world, it's a little different.
Way of the road, bud. Way of the road.
There was some concept art for the U-wing for Rogue One that wasn't used, and I'd kind of want to see that. It kind of looks like a popsicle stick, kind of like Rey's speeder, but has like this big engines on the side. I'd be into that.
Yeah. Even just a regular U-wing would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dan Cohen, thanks for the super chat. Says N1 is definitely a rat rod. I'm oddly okay with it. I don't know what a rat rod is.
Yeah, I don't know what
Is
that
that
means.
like
either.
Unless
is
that's
it
just
a hot rod?
I think
Not
you
sure.
used it to
Maybe
hit
they
rat.
meant hot rod.
A rat rod is something thrown together to make a statement. And usually that statement is, I don't know how to weld.
Is that true?
I mean, it is like, it's a rat rod in the way that like, there are clearly parts that are like aftermarket or from something else. Like the guns are like
Okay.
guns welded on the front.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Huh. I'd never heard that phrase before.
Me neither. I kept seeing people say rat rod and I thought it was a typo every time.
Everybody's wrong. Can't be me.
Can't be me. Ethan T, thanks for your super chat. Mando and BD already feel nostalgic to me. 10 out of 10. Yeah, we were yelling that like Mando should take BD with him. He needs another tiny friend.
I was yelling that when Black Chrysanthemum showed up in Boba Fett, when he just let him walk away, or rather run off into the desert. I was like, no,
Jog
hire
off.
him. Yeah.
What was with that? Everybody else in the show, Boba's like, you work for me now. But with the gladiator guy who clearly needs like a helping, God, he
Yeah.
needs to work on his
He hired him
management style.
eventually.
If you love something, you have to let it go. And then if it's meant to be, it'll come back.
It's starting a
And that's
bar
exactly
fight
what
next door.
happened.
It's yeah.
So did Mando quote Cal Kestis, whatever his name is, at one point? He says something to BD, and I swear it's a line that was from Fallen Order. It was just a little thing like "thanks, bud" or something like that, but the cadence was.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
after
classic
these
quote.
Am I imagining things?
Someone said he said like "thanks, little guy" or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
like,
thanks,
something
little
like
guy.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if that was a quote from Cal. Like that just seems like something anyone would say.
I've never heard that phrase before.
No one said
No.
thank you to you.
No.
Never ever.
Trigrit. Thanks
True
for the super chats. Says love the channel. This episode was wizard. Was kind of hoping Mando would adopt the BD droid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would have been like a funny instead of you let your son go and you need a new pet. So
Yeah.
just get a little droid.
Need a friend.
Speaking of little pet, my cat's been missing for like 10 days. He's definitely dead.
No.
Ooh. Way to
Are you
bring down
serious?
the mood.
What?
Yeah.
You just dropped it. Oh man, I'm sorry.
This is a book report exclusive.
Away she goes.
Aw.
I've dealt
That
with
sucks.
it. Just wanted to share.
We can talk afterwards. I'll give you a
Anyway,
digital hug.
this episode's in Wilbur's memory.
Mm.
Yep.
We can do a special dedication.
Wilbur, I never met you, but I love you already.
He was a very special kitty.
Every cat is a special kitty.
That's true.
I'm sorry, man.
That's okay.
That's rough. What's the weather like there? Is it bad or
Very,
is
very
it...
cold.
Ah, shit.
Can we get some S in the chat, actually?
Yes. Eric Sutman, thanks for the super chat. The Tribe Cult, Death Watch Mark II, or the opposite?
Yes.
Well, they're the children of the Watch. So I think they're related to Death Watch. And the fact that they were located on Concordia, and that's the whole reason they survived. I love that, by the way, where it's just confirmation that it's like, hey, all the crazy violent people that got exiled are the only survivors. I think that's super fun. So yeah, I think they're probably related to Death Watch.
It'll be like when the aliens glass the Earth, but they forget Australia.
Exactly that. Steve DeLeau, thank you for your question. Has Bo-Katan given up on the Darksaber? If not, if she makes another attempt, do we think Paz Vizsla will? And will Paz Vizsla and Bo-Katan finally meet? I wonder if there's like a limit on how many tries you get. Like, did Paz waste his one shot?
It was a pretty sad attempt, if so.
Yeah.
He didn't really. It didn't really look like his heart was in it.
Well, he couldn't pick up the Darksaber either. It was heavy for him too.
You better be careful. You can only do this 6 more times.
No one believes in themselves enough to hold this thing.
Busted on Din when he's taking a shower or something. It's time. No. Do you yield?
Still
Do you
can't
yield?
pick up the hilt off the toilet though.
Oh, it's like Mjolnir.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. I don't think Bo-Katan's given up on the Darksaber. I think that we're going to explore that.
She's awful. I really dislike her.
I love the character. I'm just like, what is she gonna do?
I said this earlier to Alex. I was like, I'm afraid of how villainous she's going to become and like how much of an antagonist.
for sure.
Because I like her, but they could go like really dark with her character.
She's not super nice in the Clone
No.
Wars.
And Katie Sackhoff even said that. Like, someone brought that up. They were like, is Bo-Katan a good guy now? And she was like, I mean, if you've seen the Clone Wars, you know she's no angel, so keep watching.
Which
So,
makes
I don't
me
know.
wonder, like, there's been rumors that there was a Bo-Katan spinoff show, but if she's kind of being touted as a antagonist, would she get her own show?
Well, that was just a rumor. I think that was unfounded, as much as I would love for it to be true.
I have a feeling she'll be back and with maximum initiative.
I'm bringing that joke back.
Dylan Hall, thanks for your super chat. Do you guys think Din tries and starts a new clan with the Darksaber or tries to atone back to his old one? I think he'll go and at least make an attempt to atone, just to like check out what these waters are all about, but somewhere along the way he's gonna make the decision that this is not the way.
Yeah.
I can see it being like he's going and it becomes either like reuniting with his old life or, you know, saving Grogu or one of his friends or something. And he ends up obviously going with his friends. Like, it's like, oh, I can go and the waters of Mandalore are finally open to me and I can be redeemed, or I can go save Grogu. Like, go save Grogu.
Yeah, I agree that I kind of wanted him to tell off everyone this episode, but I'm like, all right, he's not there yet. I don't want him to go and be like, all right, I got to go wash myself clean so this cult accepts me. Like, no, man, that you can do this without their approval.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to try to like reform the Mandalorians. He's going to give some speech about all the changes he's going to do. And then he's going to say, this is the way. It'll be a big dramatic moment. And I think that's his arc.
I mean, I think you're probably right. I think he's going to be the leader of Mandalore at the end of this series.
Or Boba.
Landon, or Boba. Maybe.
Or Boba.
I like your theory. I do like your theory.
They'll do it together
Hand in hand.
as BFFs.
The sword shall be split in two.
Landon McAfee, thanks for the super chat. When I saw the ring that you said reminded you of Halo, I thought of the Discworld series. The way that ring worked was closer to Discworld than Halo. I have not
Discworld?
read or watched
What is
Discworld.
that? That sounds like a 90s hacker TV show that I want to
Yeah.
be a part of.
You ready
Like,
to enter the
it's-
disc world?
Yeah.
back before the internet, they were hacking CDs.
Discworld's like the Terry Pratchett series with like the giant. It's like it's on a turtle. I don't think it's really similar to Discworld. I think he might have meant Ringworld, or like I don't know.
It's a show where they hack record players to enter the disc world.
Yeah.
Oh, Ringworld does kind of the cover art for one of the Ringworld books looks.
Yeah, because it's got
like
the
that.
similar. It's got the
The
similar
shadows.
the shadows. Yeah, and the
But we keep ignoring the fact it's not a ring. It's like a J. You know, it's not complete.
Yeah, we didn't
Yeah.
get a great look at it.
First shot.
I thought that
an
first shot was the
incomplete ring,
mirror. I thought the first shot was supposed to be the mirror because it looks like it's smooth and none of the ring is smooth. It's like the bottom side is like striated, like.
Oh.
But apparently, Alex, you said you saw somebody or one of the artists say that it isn't a ring, a full ring. Did you?
It was the audio description.
Oh, the audio description.
They described it as like there's a break in the ring so light can get through, and it
Gotcha.
simulates day and night or something like that.
Gotcha.
They described it a lot deeper than I was expecting them to.
It's I always love throwing on the descriptive audio because
You learn a
just
lot.
nice to listen to. Yeah.
That's where
I'd
the
never
Dark
done that.
Trooper.
I'd never done that until you posted that about the Dark Trooper, and I was like, oh snap. And I went back and I've started doing that if I ever have questions about things.
Yeah, I did
That's-
it like when sorry, Molly, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's how I learned the warrior Tusken was a woman, I think.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Star Wars 95, thanks for the super chat. It was a Nerf meat packing industry. Never seen, but you can see butchered Nerf heads in the concept art. Nerf burgers for life. What do you
Oh,
think?
that's
Yeah,
what
that's
those
probably
were.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. They also sent in a super chat kind of recently saying we missed the super chat. We didn't miss it. We're just kind of behind.
We're
Sorry.
just way behind.
But we're catching up. We're catching up.
Oh, and they have one more. They just sent in that says new N1 has the same color scheme as the Razor Crest.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
Right.
I think he was like, if I can't have the Razor Crest, I'll at least make it look similar.
Mhm.
Just sand off all the paint.
Make it shitty.
Yeah.
Make it his own.
Yeah. DW, he wants to make it match his armor, just silver and shiny.
And he should paint his armor yellow.
It's I don't know if that's quite as badass looking. It's a little loud.
Not so much you like bumblebees, I guess, or what you
Or
think
the
of
Imperial
bumblebees.
Space Marine chapter, but we don't need to go into that.
DW, thanks for your super chat. What's the state of the New Republic that they can afford to station 2 X-Wings over Tatooine to do traffic stops?
I kind of just imagine they happened to be at Tatooine and they were like just on patrol. Probably
It
hitting, like,
seems
10
like
planets
they're
that day.
covering,
They
a
might have
wide
been-
area.
They might have been like following that ship or like
Yeah.
escorting that ship because the whole reason why they pulled him over was like they were like, you can't fly that fast around a commercial ship.
Mhm.
Well, it is funny that Carson Teva keeps popping up. He was like at this random ice planet. He's at Navarro. Now he's at Tatooine. It seems like, there's 3 or 4 pilots that are like, we got the whole outer rim and we're just doing our best. But yeah, they're like, we're not going to mess with the pikes. We're just going to give you a ticket.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Bones McCoy, thanks for the super chat. First nukes in Star Wars and cool having Justin on. Huzzah.
It is cool. You're right.
Oh. Oh, okay.
He said what he said.
But yeah, we mentioned the nukes. I think those are the first ones I can recall. Or
There's some like I remember I was reading I think Plagueis has some mentioned specifically. There are a few others, but definitely not very common. I'm still not necessarily convinced they are nukes per se. They could just be very powerful bombs.
But it doesn't really feel Star Wars for whatever reason.
to have nukes.
Yeah, like I think they're just going to call them like,
Energy
plasma
bombs, plasma
implosions.
bombs.
Yeah.
Probably the same ones in Empire Strikes Back. They bombed the asteroid with.
Because why would you make nukes when you could just make another planet killer?
Right. I mean, they've even done so many parallels to the development of the Death Star and the scientists that helped do it. That's basically nuclear weaponry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of, go ahead, Molly.
Were you going to read the next one? Or?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Speaking of traffic stops, how does it feel to see starfighter jocks turned into traffic cops? I love seeing the transition of the rebels into the government.
Yeah. It's like there's nothing to do. They're just bored as hell.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of, I think Alphabet Squadron dealt with that a little bit as well, as like in Victory's Price at the end.
The very end,
just like, well, the war's over. Now
we're all still depressed, and now I don't have anything to now I don't have anything to distract me.
I'm still sad.
There's a war on the planet if they stick around for more than 30 seconds. There's stuff they could be doing.
I don't even know if Tatooine's in the New Republic. I know they throw around credits, but like, is there a Tatooine center? I don't know. They might not have jurisdiction.
Well, they're enforcing traffic laws, so
space is space, I guess.
Yeah, that's
on public transportation.
Yeah.
Going.
Yeah,
from
exactly.
Planet to planet.
Yeah. You should have been a lawyer, Molly. My law school did have a space law class.
Really?
Yep.
Was Tatooine in it?
I bet you there was at least one Tatooine reference, but I didn't take the class.
Wait, was there actually a space law class?
Yes.
Is it like the way the law works when you're on a cruise ship where everything's just chaos?
A lot of it would have been like maritime law, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think that was even a prereq.
So not like we're not allowed to put weapons in space, that kind of thing?
No, that would have been a part of it too.
Oh, so this is a pretty big class.
It would have been like it would have been like international law and maritime law kind of mixed together.
Today's class is on cruise ships, tomorrow's is on nuclear weapons in space.
Well, it wouldn't have actually been cruise ships, but cruise ships would have been like a good analog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. James JWO Key, thanks for the super chat. It's been mentioned that Gideon was somewhat unhinged and unforgiving, parentheses, murdering officers for interrupting him. But seeing what he did to Mandalore, yikes, this man is brutal. I'm sure he will be a great asset for Thrawn. Yeah, we did get confirmation that he is like, did they say where he was, or
just in custody?
Well, he's in custody with the New Republic
for now.
Yeah, I don't know if Gideon is working with Thrawn or if they're different.
I really hope not. Like, Thrawn to me seems more calculating and less emotionally volatile. I think he looks at Gideon as like, okay, this is exactly who I don't want because this is who caused all the issues before.
Yeah, he might have Gideon like out as a attack dog, like loosely associated with things, but I kind of feel like Gideon's all completely on his own. Like when the pod stuff came up with like the cloning or whatever last season, or in season of the Mandalorian rather, people were like trying to connect that to Snoke or the Empire, and to me it's just like, no, Gideon is just self-serving and he wants to be powerful, and he's kind of just, I always imagine him as kind of just off doing his own thing.
Yeah, I can see that. I can kind of see it going either way, just however they want to. They can always rationalize it after the fact.
Yep. For sure.
Ice has 2 super chats here. Thank you. What an episode. Bryce Dallas Howard never disappoints. Loved all the connections and how they brought Din into it. Really like what they're doing. 10 out of 10. And did you see that Pedro Pascal was credited as a main cast member for this episode? That was a nice surprise and a great way to connect the 2 series. I did not. Apparently, I just like Molly and I talked through the credits and I didn't look at them one time because that's why it took me so long to understand Mark's joke earlier.
It wasn't a joke. It was art. It was serious, but fine.
My bad.
Well, he was definitely the main cast character for this episode. but no, I didn't notice him being in the credits listed as so. That's
No,
cool.
me neither.
Kyle Ruse, thanks for the super chats. Will any of the announced live action shows tie into the rise of the First Order like Resistance?
They kind of said that it
Before
would
the Mando
start
even
doing
came
that.
out, right? Didn't they say it would tie
I
into
think
the...
so.
He said it would show the rise of the First Order. I
mean,
think Favreau said that maybe.
The way they worded it, I thought it was kind of the seeds being planted, not like we're going to see First Order uniforms and Starkiller Base and blah 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 in these series, but more like
how the
what's going on
could tie into the High Republic.
right.
Yeah.
It's like what's going on with the New Republic that allows the First Order to become a thing years down the line.
Yeah,
and like the cloning that we saw in season 2 of Mando, stuff like that. I think it's more going to allude to the First Order rather than straight up show like, and now the First Order is a thing here at the end.
Psychopather sent in a super chat saying, "Can we talk about Peli dating a Jawa?" We can. Should
it's
we?
Greasy. Yeah, I don't want to think about it.
We know now that they're
Nasty.
furry, and that's probably all we need to know.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a fun little Easter egg, a connection that like they were originally supposed to be rat creatures. I wonder if she just made that up. Like Amy Sedaris.
I kind of figured, yeah.
Like, oh, you think she was maybe riffing?
Yeah, she just improvised that.
Could have been. And they were like, yeah, I'll allow it.
Sure, why not?
Chris Fields with another question or statement, I guess I should say. I wish the ship would have been an ARC 170, but still cool.
That would have been cool.
That would have made sense. It's a 2-seater.
It's also massive. I don't know if it would fit in there. Maybe I guess it would.
Hold wings.
Falcon fit in there too. Yeah.
This N1 felt smaller than the ones from like episode 1, or did it not have like the full tail on it?
The tail was a bit cut off, but I think putting it next to the X-wings really showed how small of a craft it is. Same with like the A-wing is a famously very, very small fighter. And like, was it Squadrons, Alex, that they had to make it large? I think they had to make it like 50% larger because it would have just been too small otherwise.
To like even hit.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember that, but that wouldn't surprise me. They were already terrible to fight against.
Yeah. Because they're so fast.
Diego Imanol, thank you for the super chat. I think Bryce Dallas Howard should be cast in any Star Wars project. What kind of role do you think she fits in?
Mara Jade. Just because she's
Red
got
hair.
red hair and
That's
she's
it.
a woman. It's all you need to be fan cast as Mara Jade.
I would love to see her play a villain. Let's bring it back to the Twilight movie days where she was recast as the new Victoria in the Twilight movies.
She's just Victoria, but in Star Wars.
She is a vampire.
She was in Twilight? I had no idea. Okay.
She was in, I think it was Eclipse. She got recast as Victoria as like one of the bad vampires. Good stuff.
Looking at her IMDb now. I thought she was really good in Girl in a Yellow Dress in Apollo 13. That was really her standout for me. Almost 20 years ago. Or almost 30 years ago. Jesus.
Chad Finnerud, thanks for the question. Is the liquid the armorer poured in the font, the waters she told Din about? That's a big question about her now. Why does she have that? I didn't get that. I mean, that's just where she was cooling off.
Yeah.
Whatever she was smelting. So is that?
I think it's just like to show she's got like weird esoteric knowledge, really.
And like, I don't know. Do you need oil for that? I don't know anything about blacksmithy, but
it's very complicated.
One of my friends on Facebook started doing it, which is a weird hobby, an expensive one to take up, but kind of cool.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of. Well, I got to go get an anvil and a furnace, and like, that's a lot
huge
of
muscles.
I gotta work out a lot now.
Yeah.
Man. JC with the next super chat here. No, I'm an hour late, just like the meat truck at the Clatuinian butcher shop. Where do you think the Halo ring was located? Do we have any information on it? Love to you guys.
No, we just have the name. I don't even remember what it is.
Gravis?
Gravis, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably on the Gravis system.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just assume Outer Rim somewhere.
Was that
Well,
Initiative,
close to
Alex?
Tatooine.
That was
Yeah, it was
the...
Initiative.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably close to Tatooine. I don't
They
know
have
if
direct flights.
Yeah, if the bus
That's true.
went through hyperspace at all, or if they just flew there.
No way. Take way too long.
Yeah, but like Star Wars doesn't care.
That's true.
Like in season 2, the Razor Crest was like, our hyperdrive might explode if we use it, so we have to limp
Oh, yeah, I forgot
from
about
this
that.
random planet to
You're
this
right.
other-
I take it back.
yeah, and they're like, I guess we'll do that, and they don't care.
Yeah.
Miranda here, thanks for the question. Says, one last question. Anyone else notice the flux capacitor Back to the Future reference? I did not.
No,
And
I didn't get that either.
If I missed that, I will be ashamed.
Flux
I'll have to look for it.
Was that one of the things that Pele was talking about? Like the pieces for the car?
Probably.
Maybe it was the weird shaped one where she was like, it's round and it has the little thing on it. I don't
have
remember.
to go back and watch.
Was there a scene where she like hit her head on a toilet or whatever? Because isn't that how they originally came up with it?
Could be.
I'll have to find it, but no, I missed it. Great Scott! I kissed a Jawa.
It's my mother. Or your mother.
It's your kids, Mando. Your kids.
Steve DeLeo, thank you for another super chat. Has Bo-Katan given up? Oh, wait.
I think we covered that one.
Yeah, I think Steve asked that twice.
Sorry, bud.
But thanks, Steve. Adam Schaefer, thank you for the super chat. I found interesting the weight of the Darksaber and how it relates to focus. It could have new connotations for saber fights in A New Hope and Empire beyond the technical challenges of the day. Oh, kind of like that's why the A New Hope fight is so slow.
I don't know. Those are both pretty confident men.
That's just something you got to let go. People are
Yeah.
always trying to find a way to make that fight fit in the universe, and it's like, nope, it's just two old men hitting each other with sticks, and one of them can't see. Like,
Yeah.
that's just
I feel
how
like-
it was filmed.
I feel like Anakin, you could argue that Anakin had a lot on his mind on Mustafar, and he's just flipping that thing around like it weighs nothing.
I think the bigger issue with the fight from episode 4 is that Vader calls himself a learner, which is just last time we met, I was the learner. Like, who says that? I don't know.
Someone
There's been
that
a lot
didn't
of
learn
that.
too good.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of that in the Book of Boba Fett, especially, but also sometimes the Mandalorian. Well, they'll say something, and I'm just like, who talks like you?
Yeah.
Like, maybe we'll finally find out what's going on in this murky fin. I'm like, Boba Fett, when did you get a thesaurus?
Maybe there was one in the Sarlacc pit for
It's
however
nothing
long
else
he
to
was
do.
in there.
Just
Maybe that's
All
what the
he had
book
to
of Boba Fett is. At the thesaurus. One of those things.
Yeah, it's not a mythosaur, it's a thesaurus. They got that translation wrong. Hector Barrera, thanks for the super chat. Did anyone notice Darth Maul's ship in the upper right-hand corner of the ring credit art, hinting
right.
at Kira maybe?
Oh, that scene. Let me take a look.
I don't think that's a hint at Kira, just probably reusing a different like ship design. But yeah, I don't remember that in the art. If you want to bring
Okay.
that up.
yeah,
No.
it does kind of look like it.
Let the ship expert take a look.
Can you put it on the main viewer? Because I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't
one
know.
sec.
Let me take a look.
Alex is like, fine.
It's really dark. It does look
Yeah.
similar, but in the top right corner,
It's
you
a little
can
too
kind
dark,
of
I
make it
think.
out.
Oh,
Can you
yeah, I
zoom and
can't-
enhance? Oh, there it is. Nah,
No,
that's
I-
not the same.
this
I mean,
thing.
Yeah,
it might be, but I don't think it's anything hinting towards Kira.
They
I
just
don't think
throw
they're-
any old ship concept art in these nowadays.
I just don't think they're trying to like hint at anything or trick us
Yeah.
in the concept art.
I love how the ring here looks like it's straight off the cover of like an old 1970s like pulp sci-fi novel, like the coloring and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
it looks kind of faded.
Yeah, exactly. It's awesome.
Eric Cook, thanks for the question. Not sure if asked, but the odds we see Ben Solo if Mando is making a visit.
I think it'd be really good if they had a young. I'm one who's generally against like just throwing OT characters in, but I think seeing little Ben with either Han at one point or Luke would be awesome.
He'd be 3 at this point, 3-ish.
Yeah, so maybe with Han, I guess.
Oh, wait, no, 4. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, now that they brought Luke in, I'm more open to it. It's like, yeah, okay, I guess this is the direction we're gonna go.
Mhm.
It's not something that I'm like dying to have happen, but
It could be done in a way that like Luke showed up in Rebels where he was just very far off into the distance. You see a small blonde child running around.
And then it
Yeah.
zooms in and goes. "Bah, bah, 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 bah."
he's setting something on fire.
Yeah.
Torturing an animal.
I think chances are low, but
Yeah.
I thought the chances were low of Luke too.
What do you know?
Nothing. I don't know anything about Star Wars.
Alex Franco 25, thanks for the super chat. Those Jawas are brave and resourceful, stealing ship parts from a gang ship. What would you guys send the Jawas to find? Ooh.
Girlfriend
I
for
would-
Mark.
What did you say?
Girlfriend for Mark.
I don't want to use beat up girlfriend.
I like that we both immediately started to think about something to say for Mark, and you just had that ready to go.
There's a real bullying problem on this show.
I was thinking of something in Star Wars.
I was gonna say Mark's sense of joy, but
I don't want to use the beat up sense of joy.
you can have mine, Mark.
I would ask the Jawas to find me a kyber crystal or something. You know they've got some of those just banging around in one of those sand crawlers.
Mhm.
I think that's actually true, and from a certain point of view, or maybe it was, yeah, Tusken Raider gave a
Yeah.
Jawa kyber crystal. Not sure how the Tusken Raider got a hold of it, but whatever. Batman is my dad. Thanks for the super chat. Says they talked about nukes in the Phasma books. That's right, because that
Oh, yeah.
Parnassus went through like a nuclear holocaust.
Yeah. I'm sad I don't remember
about
a
that.
lot of that book, but because it was so good. Who sent in this next one?
I don't know if we should read this one.
Well, it kind of seems like you should. I mean,
It's kind of gross, but the Templin Institute says Mark is a great guest who knows a lot.
oh wow, the
For-
Templin Institute.
4 smiley
Yeah.
heart emojis and a kissy face.
I know that YouTube channel. They know their stuff.
Love it.
Jane Dalton, thanks for the super chat. Do y'all think that the N1 starfighter was one of the ones Leia helped break out in Shattered Empire to defend Naboo? Hope this hasn't been asked already. I missed the first hour of the stream.
I don't think so. Wasn't there also one in the Battlefront 2 DLC? Wasn't there like one in private service, like at the beginning? I thought.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah, you're right.
escorting one of the ships.
I mean, I guess we don't know how old those ones were in Shattered Empire and
Mhm.
Battlefront 2, but Pelly kept saying that this one was from pre-Empire. I guess I assumed the N1s in the comics were newer, but maybe not.
I kind of hope it was from the prequel era because it kind of reminded me of like every now in the news you'll hear these stories about how they found like old German Messerschmitts in Morocco and stuff, like left over from the African theater.
Or how a Canadian Sea King helicopter crashes.
Yeah.
Before we get to our final super chat of the night, I just really like this. Can they de-age Adam Driver to 3 years old? I like the idea that they just have him, they shrink him down.
Massive
Like,
frame.
He's still gonna
Proportions
be
are
like
the same. He's still
5
wide.
feet tall as a 3-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're gonna
3-year-old
do
who
a
could bench
documentary
press
on it.
300 pounds.
Dave Filoni, we really thought it was important to bring him back for this scene because he embodies the character so much.
He's the only one who ever played it. Just felt right.
And this
no,
is
no, I want my sippy cup. Like same delivery.
You're still holding on to my favorite toy. Give it back.
And we brought in Dennis, who's going to do some of the mocap stuff, and we would have him do the scene first, and then Adam would come in.
Joe, the costume designer, had a baby. We just threw him on set and hoped for the best.
Mm. Let's do Cameron's super chat real quick before we do
Okay.
Ken's. Loved the ring. Gave me Telos 4 from KOTOR 2 vibes. And how did Finnick know Mando was on Tatooine?
Oh, well, we didn't do that. Eck just had to drop out, I guess.
Frankly, it's about time.
I don't know that Finnick knew that Mando was there. I think she just went to Pelly because she knew that Pelly had a relationship with him or something.
Yeah.
So I figure she was just like, hey, have you seen him or do you know how to get in touch with him?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
That's right. Well, you made it like 2 hours and 15 minutes and you were just like, no more. You left.
No, I wanted to be on the left side. So
Justin, I feel the same way. I wish I had your guts.
And our final super chat of the night is from our friend Ken Plume. Thanks, Ken. Please show Mark's artwork one more time before you wrap up. I want the stream to go out on the highest of notes. It's just like credits playing. It's perfect.
Can I say Bacon had a really good point. Bikers were watching the passenger ships last episode. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, good point.
Oh,
Really good
yeah.
point. Yeah.
Yeah. Boba's got eyes everywhere.
Yeah, the mods have eyes everywhere, literally. They can take them off and hide them.
Yeah, true.
All right, bring up the artwork again.
Oh, well, we got
Great.
we got one more super chat in under the
Okay.
wire. Thank you, Eric. Sorry if already asked, but if Din is going to see Grogu, wouldn't it be a great opportunity for Luke to counsel or train him to use the Darksaber? Yes. I
Does
don't want
Luke
them to
know-
take their time to do that.
Does Luke know what the Darksaber is?
I don't know. I mean, it's a lightsaber. Like
Achilles stick, he can figure it out.
Yeah.
it's the same basic idea. I just don't. I want them to do that in season 3 of The Mandalorian if they're going to do that.
I
Mhm.
hope they
yeah.
don't. It's just going to look goofy, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm like, I would be totally fine to not do that.
He's got to learn it on his own. And I think
kinda-
even Luke would say the same. Just like, well, good luck, man.
Luke's like, no, you're too old to begin the training. just to get rid of him, brush him off.
Ooh, nice house there,
Yeah,
Justin.
Eck's taking us on a tour real quick.
Yeah, you guys like this?
Do you play piano?
No, I'm just there so people know I'm rich. It's just there so people know I'm rich.
It's a little
Okay.
it's a little late to hide your Christmas decorations that are still up.
You know what? I unplugged the tree. I was ready to put it away. But I was like, you know what? I don't have anything else to go there for now. I like it. It makes me happy.
Mm.
I'm not-
We can't talk. We left our tree up until February last year.
Last year
mid-February.
it was a much more depressing time than it is now. Well, not
Yeah.
much more, but
like I've got all my other we have a full tree. We've got full decorations outside. It's all off. It's just in my office.
You guys are
Nice.
weird. I never decorate for anything.
That
Well.
doesn't surprise me somehow.
Ah.
All right, we need to wrap it up because I am exhausted. But thank you, everyone in the chat, for hanging out. Thank you so much for your super chats. Mark, where can everyone find you and follow you online?
Well, I'm going to be on twitch.tv/Templin Institute in about 10 minutes, probably, playing Star Trek Armada. So I'd love to think of a more fitting game, but there is none. Yeah, or alternatively, you look up Templin Institute, you'll find us, or templin.institute. That's our website. It's pretty sweet.
Justin, where can people follow you?
Just look my EckhartsLadder up name on Twitter or YouTube. You'll find me. And I am happy to announce that I'm making a Star Wars Wordle for everybody. So that should be up in a couple of days.
Ooh.
Yeah, I
All
got
right.
What's that?
I've got
What's-
top men working on it. Top men.
Nice.
Is that like the words are all Star Wars words?
Yeah.
Nice.
I
That'll
like that.
Be free, just something fun for
Okay,
people.
I know way
Criff is
more
a 5-letter word.
I know way more Star Wars words than regular words.
Yeah, me too.
So,
Me too.
Yeah.
What is Wordle?
You not been on the internet, Mark?
No, I don't.
Let's.
What?
You're not
I'll
seeing
tell you
people
afterwards. I'll
pasting
tell you
this-
afterwards.
No,
the
this is
I'm
top.
so tired.
This is top podcast content. Explain Wordle to me.
There are links to both Mark
Slower
and
and
Justin's
louder.
stuff in the description, so go follow them. I promise Mark is cooler than he's acting right now.
What?
And he deserves,
No, he's not.
he deserves your subscription.
I did not make any friends on this podcast. Tell you what.
Thank you all again. We will see you next week for chapter 6. Bye.
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye. Oh.